Yo, what's up, Coach C?
Getting set up. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Not going. Excited to hang out with you guys, maybe do a call review. That was fun the other week, so I'm looking forward to being able to do one today if I can.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad I wasn't in the hot seat.
I might be today. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I'll do right Jorge's. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to hop on a sales call, but I have done some discovery calls, and that's where I was like, okay, now I see why I'm having this, rate of people not showing up. So,
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Give me a second here. When you say that, I wonder what that means, but
okay.
give me a second here. Last week was such a good coaching call, and I didn't live it, so it didn't go on YouTube. So just making sure everything is recording today. But cool. All right. So I know we gotta wait for the other guys. I feel like today there's not a whole lot. Um
Yeah, I think it's just like me and Aiden. I think everybody else was pretty much
yeah,
busy.
yeah. So might be able to get to like reviewing calls sooner, but I mean, yeah, I guess we can get started then. As they get here, like when you say people, all right, so because I remember the other week you had a crap ton of discovery calls. You had like four from like one funnel or like one ad and like two for another, something like that. And you had all these discovery calls. So how many discovery calls, first of all, did you book? Remind me, and then how many did you actually take?
I had, let's see, booked from that asset. Let's see, one, two, three. I didn't know I had. Okay, so let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six. I had booked six.
Okay.
One, two, three, four, and then four was booked as a sales call.
Okay. Six discovery call, four live discovery calls. Okay.
And I believe two might, I just didn't, I don't think maybe like they just weren't qualified. Like maybe one wasn't a business owner.
Okay. Well, actually, yeah, that answers my question. Let me pull this up real quick and then we'll go through each one individually. Um, Discovery call, sales call scripts, PowerPoint template. Cool. So we had, so four of them, yeah, said yeah. And then you're saying two were unqualified?
Yes. One I would say was like just starting, like they weren't business owners yet. They were just like thinking about starting a painting company.
Okay.
And let me see. I feel like I talked to another one and he wasn't a business owner either. He knew a business owner and he was like he wants to get leads for that guy. So he might have been a full-blown marketer. Like he says he does jobs and stuff like that, but for the most part, he doesn't own a business for sure. It was like his cousin or something like that. So
Okay. Cool. And then the third one.
let's see, third one. We're looking at that would have probably been the one I sent you, which was that Greg call, which is where I just didn't dive deep enough into his pain. And so I was pretty much what I did, like I had the initial discovery call script and I just kind of added more words to it. Like I just went back and looked at Cam's and just kind of did his and just made it like toward more it's like painters.
And this is for call three, the third one, or all of these?
All of them, all of them.
Okay. Um, and then the fourth one.
Fourth one, let's see. He booked as well, but he ghosted. His name was Preston.
Okay. So what happened with that one?
Maybe the same thing. Like I have to dive deeper into his pain because he was a business owner. His thing was he had just got out of rehab because he like messed his hand up. And so he was just starting to get back into the swing of things, but he was looking to pick up more jobs. And so I'm pretty sure I just didn't dive deeper onto, why he was looking at him.
He was in rehab, like a physical injury or something?
He said that like what do you call it? Like therapy, like for like rehab, stuff like that. Because he had like multiple surgeries and stuff like that on his hands. He
That was
had screws and stuff like that put in. So like he couldn't do any painting work or anything like that.
this one. Which CPM was it? Remember you had one that was like a $14 CPM or something crazy, and then you had one that was like a 30, 40, $50 CPM.
Yeah. This one black background had I'm checking right now. I'm pretty sure that one was the high CPM one because that's the black background one.
Okay. And then this, so let me know, confirm, and then let's see the second, third, and fourth.
You said what now?
So just confirm that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just be confirm that real quick.
Let me make sure.
Tony, hope you're doing well, bro.
Uh, Give me like 2 seconds.
Sure. Mason, hope you're doing well, bro. If you said something, we couldn't hear you.
So that bank shit got me fucked up.
Did you get worked out or no?
Uh, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I'm 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 telling Chase that they can suck it, dude. I've never had so many complications in my life where all I'm trying to do is transfer money to my personal account. They just won't let it happen.
Have you been doing that for a long time? Like using Chase, business account, transfer to personal, or is this a new thing that you're trying to do?
Nope, it's not new. I've definitely been around the block and transferred money to myself before, but
Maybe it's the transaction amounts. Maybe it's because they see a higher amount or something.
no, it's the same amount pretty much every time.
Okay.
So
So
this one actually came from, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
you're
You're
the
good.
good, man. It's not important. You guys are more important than my personal problems.
the the lower CPM one,
So the first one is at lower CPM or higher CPM?
lower CPM.
Okay. And then the second one?
Okay, that's gonna be the higher one, second one, because that came from Reels.
Okay. And then the third one?
And that'd be Reels too, the higher one.
Okay. And the fourth one?
Reels.
Okay. So why do you think I'm asking you this?
I don't know.
If you had to guess, why do you think? because we talked about it a little bit. I was telling you, remember, I was like, okay, you have these two ad sets, and what are we going to do moving forward, depending on the CPM and the results. And I was telling you, keep track of which business owner comes from which ad set.
Okay, yeah. So keeping track of which one comes from which one. That way, we can determine to, move forward with which asset.
Yeah. So
Right.
basically, you have ad set one. So you have cheap ad set, and then you have expensive ad set. And then let's say the cheap ad set, again, this is your 15, and then this is your 30. And so let's say cheap ad set, your cost per book call, I don't know, let's just say theoretically, I don't know, let's just say $30, right? And then your cost per book call here is, let's just say, I don't know, $50. But then let's say 1 out of 10 people are qualified here. So that means it's $300 versus here, let's say 1 out of 2 people are qualified. It's $100. So this cheaper ad set's getting you cheaper book calls at $30 a piece. This ad set's more expensive. It's got higher CPM, but the cost per qualified book call, the cost per qualified lead is way cheaper. That's why I was asking you. So it's not just a matter of like which ad set was getting the cheapest cost. My theory was that whichever ad set had like a way cheaper CPM was not going to be a good ad set. And that's what I'm seeing here. Is you have this person who's starting out, he's not even a business owner, he's just fucking around. That's why Facebook is saying like, yo, he's not worth a lot of money. That's why the CPM is lower. CPM usually it rises depending on how much, money somebody's making and stuff like that, right? So if I target like business owners that are doing 7 figures, 8 figures, my CPMs will be through the roof. If I target people that are just trying to get to their first 10K, my CPMs will be way lower.
Okay.
So this ad set, the one that's cheaper, is giving you business owners that like people that are not even business owners, they're not making money. And so Facebook knows that. That's why the CPM is so low. If I look at these three people, they all come from the higher CPM. This guy, even though he wasn't a business owner, you said he could be a marketer. It could be something where he's looking for his cousin. It's not that he's not, he shouldn't have been in the funnel in the first place, but Facebook somehow probably knows like, oh, this dude's got money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe let's just assume like for example my brother. Let's assume my brother is like this dude that makes 7 figures and he sees an ad for like coaches like me. And so you might Facebook when it targets my brother, the CPM is going to be high. Does that make sense? So it's like it's finding an affluent person here. This one, it's an affluent person. This one, it's an affluent person. So this tells me my initial theory, which I told you, I was like, okay, if your ad set the one that's like the cheaper CPM, even though it's booking calls at maybe cheaper, it's getting cheaper clicks or whatever. If the results are not good in terms of qualified people, well, then we should shut that off. That's the ultimate thing I'm trying to get across to you.
Now that makes sense. I don't know why I was thinking like, dang, my CPM is shooting up. I thought something was wrong. So I'm like, it's not even getting like the link clicks it was getting anymore.
Yeah,
But now that
that's
you brought
different.
that back to my attention, I was like, okay, yeah.
The CPM, when I look at CPM, that usually tells me the quality of the traffic. Usually the higher the better. Usually, not always. Sometimes the CPM is high just because like your ad sucks balls. If your ad sucks balls, then your CPM could be a little bit higher, but usually it's just the quality of the traffic. If I see a low CPM, eh. But your unique link click-through rate, this this is a metric that shows like how good is your ad. So this is like quality of the traffic, and then this is how good your ad is. So if your CPM is more expensive, it's going to go after more affluent people. Your unique link click-through rate is going to increase if your ad is better. It's going to decrease if your ad is not as good. So when you say your CPM was higher and then your unique link click-through rate was dropping, yeah, there is an issue there. The issue is not the quality of people you're getting after. It's the fact that, hey, maybe your ad is fatigued. Maybe we need to have another ad set. Maybe we have to another ad. That's what that means.
Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted to go over that really quick so you know what to do regarding your ads. Does that make sense or you have questions on that?
No, that makes sense. Because at first, like I said, I was like, oh shoot, I think something might be broken here. But
Yeah.
uh, no, no, now that gives me a better idea of what I should do. Because I
Okay.
was going back to the gray background and just turn that one back on. But I could just, like you said, just rock with the
Is
higher.
Yeah, I would take the ad set that I mean, we can have a look at it. I guess we can look at it really quick, actually, if you want. You can share a screen.
Yeah, pull it up real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yep. So 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 go to so go ahead and select the two ad sets that we had that were running, the one that was like the higher one and the lower one, the higher CPM, the lower CPM.
I know one. Let me see that. Two.
Yeah, so one is like $10 and $5. So those CPM. So um actually go ahead and go back to ad sets and then just deselect deselect one of them, just deselect one of them and then click on ads again. Yep. Okay, so this is the more expensive one. See how the CPM is $78 versus the other one's like 10 and $5? Huge
Yeah.
difference, bro. Huge difference. Somebody that's a $5 CPM man is very different than a $78 CPM person. So your so scroll to the right a little bit for me. So your cost per click is $6.70. It's a little bit expensive. Your unique link through is okay. Um, your book calls, what is your cost per book call? How much has that spent? Go back, scroll back. Yeah, yeah. So that has spent, that spent, so that's all it spent, $26?
Yep, 26 bucks is all I spent.
What the hell?
Well, this is a duplicate because it probably dried out. So I might have to select, let's see, make sure. Okay, there we go. 110.
Okay, so basically we spent 110. Well, actually, let's look at the first one. The first one is $83 divided by how many book calls? Scroll
Let
okay. Divided by four,
two.
divided by
Yep.
two. Okay,
Yep.
that's $31 for a book call. And then the top one, that one is $25, I think you said $26 divided by how many book calls for the first one? Or that
Uh,
one, $6?
two as well.
Yeah, bro, your shit's fucking insane. Like your numbers are fucking like there's nothing to worry about in terms of your ads. Like your cost per click is a little bit high, okay? But so let me show you another thing. Let me share my screen with you.
Okay.
So another thing just so you know in terms of cost. So basically there's if you look at everything from left to right, there's like click, then there's book call, then there's live, discovery call, sales call booked, live, sales call, close. Okay. So what number do you think is like the most important to be looking at in terms of deciding if your ads are okay or not?
You'd be looking at, I guess you'd be looking at the unique click-through rate, right?
No, so basically I'm looking at the funnel, right? So the first thing somebody does is they click. Then the next thing they do in the funnel is they book a call. Then the next thing you that happens is you get them on a live, you get a certain percentage of people on a live sales discovery call. Then a certain percentage of those people will say yes to a sales call. Then a certain percentage of those people say yes to a live sale, actually hop on a sales call with you. And then a certain percentage of people you close. So each of these are cost per. So maybe I should do that. Cost per, cost per, cost per, cost per. Cost per. So basically what I'm saying is that if I look at your ads, your cost per click is like $6. It's like fucking expensive, right? But the reason I'm not sweating it is because I don't care about this number as long as this number is healthy. So this number is like 30, $40 for a book call, which is like $30 or something less. So it's like I'm not worried if you're spending $6. Fuck, you can spend $8. I don't even care as long as your cost per book call is cheap. So I'm trying to get across to you is then as you progress to the right, these are the most important numbers, right? So let's say your cost per close is like $500. and your cost per click is like fucking $20. Usually I'd be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like your cost per click should be $3. You're at $20. That's retarded. However, your cost per close is $500. And I'd be like, okay, I don't give a fuck. This number dictates everything. Like basically you move from this number to 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 this number. You go in order from right to left, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to get across to you when I looked at your ads. Your cost per click is high, but your cost per book call is still healthy. So I'm not worried about it. And so I'm telling you, you shouldn't be worried about it either. It's like as long as you're getting these book calls for, I don't know, 30 to $50, bro, like I want to be sweating anything. Like it's healthy. It's really good.
Copy that. That's
Okay.
all I was really worried about.
Yeah. What we need to worry about is, so this is more controlled at the ad level, right? So your cost per click, cost per book call is your calendar page. This is more so your sales skills. So the worse you are at sales, the more these numbers will increase. Your cost per whatever will increase. The better you're at sales, well, then these numbers will decrease, obviously. So right now with you, I'm not worried about this. Just like everybody else, I'm not worried about this with anybody. With you and everybody, I'm focused on this. Just increasing your conversion rate, getting better at sales so that your costs decrease across the board here. So again, why would somebody have a $500 cost per close and then like $20 cost per click is because maybe their ads suck balls, but their ads are bringing the right person and they're just fucking fantastic at nurturing people, selling people and closing deals. So like damn near everybody they talk to, they close. That's how you would have that number, if that makes sense.
Copy that.
So,
That help a
okay.
lot.
Good, good. So yeah, let's take that ad, bro. And if you want to duplicate it and another ad set, if you want to try the one that Aiden's done with the star background, that's cool. As long as again, you're keeping things within 30 to $50 and just keep me updated. Let me know about the quality of the traffic. Again, as long I think your CPM is going to remain around $70, 50 to $80. I think that's normal. If you have a CPM around 10, $5, like some shit's fucking broken.
Okay.
That's all you have to worry about when it comes to ads. So in summary, with your ads, we're probably going to see a $50 to $80 CPM. Your cost per book cost should be anywhere from 30 to $50. So long as and then again, the quality of the traffic should be these people, right? It should be people that are business owners. So long as that criteria is met, then if you need to re-listen to this at the 21-minute mark, that's it. Like write that down. That's all you need to worry about. As long as it's happening, bro, your ads are fine. And if they go a little bit out of that, duplicate the ad set and rinse and repeat. That's it. All we need to really be worried about is this stuff so long as that stuff is hit.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Helps out. So I can just turn the original, well, duplicate the ones that I showed you that I had. Just duplicate those and keep it rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I don't know if it was advantage placement that was working for you. I think you said it was. That's fine. You know, if that's what's working. Advantage placements or if you want if you're doing feeds and reels, it doesn't matter to me. You know, if you do advantage placement and it's rocking, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Again, as long as it meets that criteria. I wouldn't think too much about it.
cool.
But okay, cool. So that's us going over your ad stuff. Um, let's let's save the sales stuff until the end because we could just like do all
Cool.
the sales. Okay.
Yep.
Um, and I think that's pretty much it. And then it's just Aiden, what's going on, man? How you doing, by the way? How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good, good, good. So I was saying, you know, it'd be nice if we could make time to just do some sales stuff today. Um, maybe review a discovery or sales call, but and so maybe getting through like everybody's questions first though. Um, what questions do you guys have or what did you guys want to go over?
Do you have anything, Denny? Nope. I feel like I don't really have any questions. It's just, you know, I need to work on my discovery calls, my sales calls. It was interesting because I had two more sales calls after that one that I said I felt like one of the best ones I've ever had, and each one felt like it got progressively worse. And anyways, I kept
Okay.
studying and improving. So just as I felt like new things were coming up in every call that I just wasn't prepared for. Um,
You're
but I
talking about discovery calls or sales calls? Because you just said sales.
discovery calls, sorry.
No, you're good.
Um, but
So they've been getting progressively worse, and you said you've been studying the calls.
yeah, so I think that's just like I don't have any real questions. That's just what I need to do is to have more discovery calls, work the leads we've already generated, generate more leads and discovery calls. And then and yeah, I was really thorough. I watched, all this discovery call stuff. I watched, several of Cam and Amon's discovery calls. And so I think that one is just going to take reps. I think I'm much better prepared for this stuff, just practicing how to like dive deeper into those pain points and make them really, really hurt. And then, yeah, like I know what I need to do to bridge the gap in those discovery calls. So,
Okay. So why do you feel like, just from a place of curiosity? So I'm glad, by the way, I'm glad to hear that you got through the discovery call training. Like I know that shit's fucking long. It's an hour long, my ugly mug just rambling. I know, I'm sorry. But I'm glad you got through that. I'm glad that you're able to go through some discovery calls. So that makes me feel a lot better, right? So now I know like, hey, Aiden, he knows the playbook. He understands exactly what needs to be said and done. I feel good about it. Thank you for that. Thank you for making the time for that. So I guess my question to you is, why do you feel like the first call, and I think maybe that's a good place for me to maybe review that call since you feel like that was your better one, but why do you think that things got progressively worse? I think you said it's because things came out of left field where they said or did certain things that you were not expecting and you were not ready for? Is that kind of what you're saying?
yes. Let's see. So, for example, one of them, this was kind of both of them.
Uh-huh.
They just reacted in different ways.
Okay.
I need to find a better way to, because the whole point is to focus less on it doesn't, like the price doesn't matter. What matters is the value and what they'll get out of it. And so I think I went over pricing where it was like, and actually this is probably better because
The first call, the second call, or the third call?
the second and third call.
Okay. So
Uh,
let's break each let's do them one on one. Let's do just one at a time. Or do you want to start with the first one and just go in order one, two, three, or do you want to start with the second one?
I kind of want to start with the second one.
Okay. So cool. You went over pricing. What else happened?
Well, when I went over pricing and I was like $30 a day, and I didn't even do $50 a day. I did $30 a day, right?
Huh.
And he was like, "Oh man, there's no way I can do that." And I can't remember exactly what I did but I kind of spent a little bit of time talking to him about it, but I definitely did not spend enough time doing that to the point where he, let me know that he was okay to move on.
Okay.
Uh, because what he ended up doing was he ended up, we made it through the rest of the call, and then he ended up, we booked a sales call, and then like a few minutes later, he's like, "Hey man, sorry, I'm a cheapskate. I can't pay for that. I'm not gonna pay for that. Like, forget about it."
Okay.
Uh,
Keep going. Keep going.
yeah. So first of all, I noticed what Cam did in one of his calls was he was like, and he was talking to a guy that was making like 1,000 a month. One of his discovery calls that's in the portal,
Yeah.
in the course, and he's like, we have different options based on your goals, kind of a thing. Like he takes a second to address like, "Hey, look, I know that for a second it feels like it's a lot, but and that's really all we're trying to do is collect, $500 upfront to get started." And I don't know, he just the way that he words it is so awesome, and I watched that call after the fact, and I was like, "Damn, man, like that would have been so good." But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So basically, you guys get into like the cost. So here's the thing. Why are we asking, hey man, so it's gonna be about $30 per day on ads. That's what I would recommend. You can spend up to 50, 200. We got plans doing different things, but at least $30 per day would be a good starting place. Why do you think we say that, by the way? What is the objective behind that?
I mean, to qualify them, it's like a yes or no thing. And so it's like, if no, then
Yeah, exactly. It's like if somebody says, so for me, again, I learned that from my own experience. I wouldn't tell people like, oh, so the reason I did that is like I knew $50 per day equals $1,500, and I know I can at least collect $1,500 from somebody. I'm happy to have that sales call. If
yeah.
somebody doesn't have that, so that's a secret warfare. It's not whether they can afford 30 to 50. It's does this number scare them or not? That's the
Mm,
key. It's like, does this number scare them? So just so you know, it's like if I say 30, 50, does it scare the shit out of them or no? If it's no, cool, man, we're cool, we're chilling. If it scares the shit out of them, now I have to wonder, okay, why does it scare the shit? Does it scare the shit because they don't have the money, they're broke as fuck? If
mm,
so, then I know that my solution is going to be most likely financing credit cards. If, however, they're like, oh no, I'm just scared, now that's a different objection. Those are the one of the two things. Either people are going to be like, okay, um, that's too expensive. Okay, cool. If it's expensive, and again, when somebody says expensive, you have to decipher, are they saying it's actually expensive or are they saying I'm scared? To me, it sounds like
mhm,
your guy didn't say it's expensive. To me, it sounds like your guy said I'm scared.
mhm.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you have to decide one of the two. Is it expensive? And if so, then now you have one of two paths. One, they're broke as fuck, end the call. Two, are they open to financing? Those are your only options. And honestly, I don't like being here. Aiden, I don't like being at this option because like just dealing with people that are broke and I gotta fucking get them to believe so much that they're willing to take finance. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. I'm not
Yeah.
saying to do it, it's just challenging. However, this one where it's like they're just scared, they don't believe, this becomes easier to combat.
And that's what I was thinking too, is like, that's a belief issue about the system,
Yeah.
right? And that's part of where you sell the sales call, where it's like, hey, watch this video. Like, I know, I don't know.
I wouldn't go there. So I'll tell you what I would have done. Actually, I have a theory, but I would have to listen to your call, and I might listen to your call. That might be a good place for us to start just to confirm this. But here's where I think I would have gone, man. Is if he said like, "Oh man, that's expensive," I think what I would have done is been like, "Oh, dude, no, I get it. How much? You said you're full time, right? I don't know if you had that conversation. Maybe I would have said that and been like, okay, cool, man. Well, I guess like how many jobs are you doing right now? This many? Okay, well, I guess like what are you bringing in right now? Okay, so why would I ask those questions, Aiden? Pop quiz.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he's, just starting out on his own and he's like doing a couple of jobs, bringing in, 3 grand of profit home a month, and it's like, okay, this is not, you're not at the stage where this would make sense. We're not
What
even able to help you
what
ever.
what was he doing? Like, was he doing 3 grand? Like, did you get that information? Like, how much revenue was he generating? How much profit was he generating?
Oh, dude. I'm looking at back at my notes, and honestly, I don't even know if I swear we talked about something like that, but looking back at my notes, I can't
It's
find.
all good. So I'm just kind of telling you what I would say. Because here's remember the reason I'm asked this question, dude, is like I want to figure out whether he's broke or he's scared.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all why I'm asking this question. So if he says like, yeah, dude, I did this amount of jobs. Okay, cool. I'm doing like this amount of revenue. So let's just say theoretically he's like, yeah, man, I'm doing like 3 jobs on average. Cool, man. I guess like, what do you, so on average, you're bringing what, like 10, 15 grand a month from that? It's like, yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, what if I told you, well, like, I guess like I can pretty confidently tell you that, man, like it's going to turn from 3 jobs to probably about 6 jobs at least bare minimum. If you can spend $30 per day. $30 per day, man, you're going to close a deal within, I don't know, most people close a deal within $300 ad spend. So if you can dish $300 ad spend, man, that's another deal. And I think you're charging like what, 5 grand. So that's, you turn $300 into like 5 grand, man. Um, so I think I would say something like that. Does that make sense? And so now what happens there? If I said something like that, if it's a matter of belief and they're scared, they'll be like, 300 bucks, $300, $30 a day sounds like a lot when you think about it, 30, 60, 90, whatever. But then when it breaks it down like $300 for the first deal, and I know a deal is worth 5 grand, all right, that's not so bad.
yeah,
And so now I'm killing the fear. And so now if the fear is gone, the only thing is he actually broke? And so since he's not broke, he's gonna be like, all right, cool.
100%. And that's what I gathered from studying the discovery calls afterwards, is like, and you talk. I can't remember. I feel like you went over this a little bit as well, but I feel like Cam really went into it where, or maybe this was in your call, your training, where it basically just like you really get into the math after you get like the, hey, how much you doing monthly, how many jobs are you doing, and then you're like, like literally the price, the daily cost is the last thing you say after you're like, okay, what's your average? Okay, cool. Well, based on this, our average client is doing this. Okay, to get these results, you have to spend about $300 to $500 or whatever. That gets you this many results. All stuff like that kind of thing, and
Yeah,
working backwards.
yeah, no. So yeah, I go super heavy into the 6 figure and 6 week sales funnel. I don't know if I go as deep in terms of this one. Um, so why do you get the call? Figure out exactly what products they want. Figure out how much. Yeah. So how are they getting their customer?
And I did, by the way, look pulling the transcript up for the video. I did ask him, and he said, "Oh boy, this is actually pretty pathetic for a contractor." He said 4 grand a month is what he's doing. He's like, "Yeah, I've been doing some stuff around the house and things like that." And I was like, "Yeah." When I was like talking to him, I was like, "Dude, you kind of sound like a bit of a bum." So,
This is the
you
second
know,
guy. We're still talking about the same guy.
yeah, still talking about the same guy. Yeah.
So
So,
he said 4 grand. He's bringing 4 grand.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So 4 grand is revenue or profit?
And that's what I actually don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, you were saying I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to get those details.
I think that's it.
Okay. So, I mean. I mean, it's also possible, man. Like you said, like he's maybe more on the bum side. Maybe he's like just naturally scared. I mean, of course, I'm going to talk to you about what you could change. I'm talking about like what you can control. But
Yep.
if he's only making four, I mean, I personally I feel like that's probably enough to get him on. Because again, dude, we look at somebody like here's the difference between you and Cam though is like Cam will he literally took somebody who made like 1 grand a month and like made him like 10 grand the first week. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing about Cam is like his shit like just fucking works. So it's like I think you can't just like, but we're talking about sales here. If Cam can get somebody who's making 1 grand on a sales call, that's just a matter of saying and doing the right things to get them on the sales call. Now, whether or not we can help them with the amount of money, that's a different topic. And so that's a whole nother conversation of like, okay, well, do you even want to have a conversation with this guy or not?
Yeah.
I don't, I personally think you should still be having a conversation with everybody. You should push everybody over the edge.
Yeah.
I should be working on that. But cool, man. So I guess like your thing is like you feel like it fell apart after you got into the cost of ads. Okay. What about let's talk about the third one.
Um,
Unless there's anything else you want to go over on the second one.
no, that's pretty much it. For that one. This guy.
Yeah, and then this one is like before you get into ad spend, like yeah, I think the thing is like you were saying, sorry, I didn't like harp on
No.
this, but like yeah, the before we like get into ad spend and stuff, regardless of when you get, here's the thing, whether you get into ad spend towards a tail end or you do in the middle of the conversation, n- if you just say like, cool, man, are you willing to spend $30 per day? Like they're like, for what? Like what is my ROI? And so
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
before you get into like, hey man, it's gonna be $30, like, all right, cool, man. Well, I could tell you a job is typically, most people are closing in about 2 weeks. Would you be willing to spend $30 per day on ads? I mean, that's that's about $300 within 2 weeks. That'll help you close a deal. That's something you be now all of a sudden they're tying the $30 per day to an outcome.
No, exactly. And I have to go back and rewatch these ones, specifically these two that I'm thinking were not that great, because the first one I
Yeah,
did that exact same thing. And just like you said, it's like, are they scared, and why are they scared? Because literally that was his reaction. That was his reaction. He's like, well, $30 a day, you know, to get, like, if that meant getting a close, he's like, yeah, that's totally reasonable.
the
That's
first guy,
what,
right?
yep.
Boom. Okay, good. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, you could hear it. He's like, in his voice, he was like, well, normally that would be a lot, but because X equals Y, you know, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So some people, and here's a kind of important to understand, is some people can kind of do the math in their head and it be common sense. And then somebody like him, maybe more on the pussy side, and maybe he's not thinking right. He's not thinking of like, okay, well, what's the outcome of that? This guy's thinking value, like you said. This guy is just like thinking, he's more on the side of playing defense. I forget what the word I'm looking for is, but he's like playing defense. Yeah, I'm in a brain fart right now.
He's a skeptic.
That's not, yeah, he's a skeptic, but that's not the word I'm looking for right now. There's people that play offense, there's people that play defense. I just forget what the words are that they use to describe them.
Risk and risk averse.
Yes, like risk averse, and then that's not exactly what I'm looking for, but like there are people that they're just playing defense, they just don't want to get hurt. And then there are people that are like, okay, well, let's play the game. Let's okay, well, okay, if I spend this, like what happens? So he's more, hey, let's grow. This guy's like risk averse. And the thing is like when it comes to these people that are more risk averse, like so this guy's like doing has common sense. He's like, okay, $30 a day is a lot, but if I spend this, what is my ROI? It makes sense. This guy's not even thinking like that. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get across. This guy isn't even thinking like he's just thinking like $30 per day. Fuck, that's expensive. He's not thinking $30 per day would equal X amount in sales and I'll grow my business. Like it's just that's the cost of doing business. He's not thinking like that. And so in both cases, what you have to do is you have to set up the frame so that you can be like, okay, well, hey man, here's what the outcome is of the $30 per day. And then so are you willing to do $30? So even this guy right here, here's what I'll tell you, Aiden, is you got lucky with this one.
Yeah.
You got lucky because he thinks the way he thinks. He's like, yeah, $30 typically a lot. But if you had set it up correctly, he wouldn't say those words to you of like, well, $30 typically a lot. But if you're saying this, yeah, I could make that work. If you set it up the right way, which maybe you did, then he's like, and then you go into his $30 per day, he's like, yep, I can do that. And he just shuts up and he keeps it going. That's
It was a little bit more like that.
okay.
He
Good.
didn't say like normally that would be expensive. I just like kind of got that feeling from him. But anyways, he was more like that where he just
That's a
like
good sign.
reasonable.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, the guys that like keep it short is a good sign. Whenever I get to a guy where I talk about price, $30 per day on ads, and if anybody hesitates, man, like you got to sit. So here's another tip. When somebody gives you hesitation there, dude, you got to fucking sit there for a little bit. You got to sit there before you move on. Because again, it's one of two. They're either afraid that the system doesn't work or won't work for them, or two, they're broke. And so you got to figure out which one of those two is, and you got to handle that before you move on. So just an important tip moving forward. Um, so yeah, good signs for the first one. Anything else about the second one before we move on to the third one?
No.
What happened here?
On the third one, let's see. Um, oh man, dang. Basically, it was kind of a similar reaction where he was just like similar reaction to the second guy, where he was just like, "Frick, dude, like that's a lot of money, you know." Um, his project sizes were smaller, his averages were smaller, but still like really solid. Um, I'm trying to find in the transcript where he said, I might have to re-listen to this one, but basically looking through this, I did that same thing where I was like, okay, you know, our average client spends this much a month and gets this many closes, which for you translates into, you know, X to Y, which also then translates into, you know, whatever percent profit that is. Um,
So you did try to go into that,
I
or you
did.
went into that after he said this.
No, I went into that before I got into the ad spend.
Okay. So, so you basically went into like, hey, so typically it's about this amount of dollars that equals this amount for a customer, and typically, you know, as you know, the price is, you know, this range for a job. So you did go into that.
Mhm.
Okay, and then even after doing that, he had issues with the price of the ads. How much was this guy making per month? About the same as the other guy?
Let's see. No, it was definitely more than the other guy.
Okay.
Um,
I'm curious how much this guy was making, the third guy versus the first guy.
I mean, in terms of average, kitchen remodels. This guy was in an interesting situation. So, and this is actually happening a lot where people are going from custom homes to kitchen remodeling. They want to get away from custom homes because they're so big, they're so lengthy in terms of projects. Versus kitchens, you can do more of them. There's more cash flow. And so that's kind of where he was at, where he's transitioning from custom homes to kitchens. Right now, he's doing anywhere from 1 to maybe 2 a month, but his kitchen remodels are 5 to 10K. So that's at least, 5 to 20K a month, with 20% profit margins.
Okay. Okay. What about the first guy?
Let's see, Matthew Bierbauer. He was another kind of odd one. He was moved from like Chicago to like South Dakota. But then even in South Dakota where he's at, he can still go out to like Illinois and Michigan, I think, or something like that. Okay, yeah. In the next couple months, he should be bringing about 10 to 15K on the low end, is what he said, and 10 to 15K a month on the low end. Um,
Okay, so 10 to 15K on the low end. So 10 to 15K on the low end. So okay, so right away we're maybe seeing some differences in terms of like revenue versus their behavior. Okay. Cool, man. So which one of these do you think would make sense to review? The call one, two, or three?
Thing, dude. Like today.
Yeah. I just messaged Cam to see if he had something. He's saying he wants to hold off on. I don't know. Maybe he'll send a call. But we'll see.
He wants to hold off on what?
I just messaged him last minute because I owe him a Discovery sales call review. So I was like, oh, throw something away if one of the guys don't give me something good today.
I probably would want to go over the second one because the third one, what I did was I felt like I addressed the fear issue and I don't know if this is going to work. It's a belief issue. I feel like I did that actually fairly well, and he didn't cancel the sales call after we got off the phone.
This one.
Where I was like, look, dude, you don't know me from Adam, and let's be honest, right now, you don't know my system right now either. Basically, I was like, we have results and evidence from all these other clients. Let me walk you through the system, show it to you so you can get familiar with it, show you these other results that we've gotten, and then you can decide from there. And then that's when he agreed to it. And
so, because all right, I this might be counterintuitive, but like I feel like watching better ones is better than watching not good ones.
yeah, okay.
Is like if I look at this one, like we can skim through it, but it's like if you and I already know what the issue is, it's like okay, we don't need to like study it.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus this one, you feel like you did a good job, so it's like maybe you could have done an even better job, and this is where maybe I can give you some tips. So I feel like this would be a better use of time. But let's see here.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, actually, I don't know. Jorge's there. Let's kind of see his thoughts on his calls recently. Yo, Jorge, what's going on, bro?
What's up, guys? Good afternoon.
Chilling, man. So we're kind of just like deciding we're just going over sales stuff, man. Kind of deciding what to like go over today, like who's called to review. Did you have questions, bro, or are you like mostly sales too?
Mm, I want to do updates on ads, like
Okay.
on my ads. And I remember you mentioned like asking Aiden something about like how he structures his
Right.
His new ads, like the top, all that stuff, like the Advantage Plus. I forgot exactly the question, but something like that.
Yeah. So Aiden, I was gonna ask you, man, like whenever you test out ads, um, like do you have it set up where you have like a testing campaign and then you have like an actual campaign, or do you just like do everything like one campaign when you're testing out ads?
I'll do everything in one campaign.
Okay. And so whenever you do everything in one campaign, let's say you have an ad set that's like crushing, do you just inject more ads in here or do you not mess with that and you have another like ad set and you just start that from scratch?
I actually go back and forth because I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to, because yeah, my whole goal. I mean, I'm being really anal about it, but it's kind of paying off. Where it's like I just want to bring the cost per lead as low as freaking possible, and so I'm messing around with that right now. What I've been doing, what I did this last week was I did it in a separate ad set.
Okay. So I'll kind of like share like my thoughts, but I want to get your perspective. So for me, it's like whenever I have an ad set that works, so let's say this one, I don't like to touch it. Like I don't like to throw ads in there. I don't like to I definitely won't mess with the targeting. I don't like to even increase or touch the budget. Like I'll just like start another ad set from scratch. My only concern is like if they have the exact same audience, I've heard they can compete, and I have kind of experienced that where like if I have the two of the same targeting, one ad set will outperform the other. So like let's say this works, and then I have another ad set that has the same targeting. Now all of a sudden this will shit the bed, or they'll both shit the bed. So that gets me worried. But I typically will just like I used to like right now I feel a little bit weird about it, but like I used to have like one ad set. If it worked really well, I'll just create another ad set. I don't care if I duplicate. I don't care what the hell I'm doing with this, but I don't want to touch this one. So, in your experience, like, so I guess my first question is like, if you have an ad set that's already working, and if you throw ads in there, have you seen like the performance dip or go crazy or like do weird shit?
If you're doing, if you want to try new ads in that one,
Yeah, it's like the ad set is already crushing. It's already got a great ad in it. So let's say we have one ad set with one ad in it, and it's working really well. And if I throw in another ad in there, will it fuck up the existing ad that was working well or no?
well, that's actually what happened when I did the black ad that the other guys have been testing out. Is this one ad set had 19 leads from the original gray background ad.
Right.
Then I tested the black background ad, and it was less than half the cost, and it seemed to do fairly consistently. Yeah, it did really well at first. I don't know why I didn't keep that on. It doesn't look like I kept it on. But then I will say this: what I did do after that is I noted I got even more into the like, okay, what are the placements for these? And I found that there were really specific placements that were coming that were really like all of our leads were coming from. And that's when I made a new ad set and tested that. And then those leads have been cheaper than the other ones by far.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, yeah, this ad set with the gray background, it was doing well. Then you put the black ad in it, and so now they're both doing well, but the black ad is doing better. So it didn't screw up the success of the gray one. The black one just simply did better. Yes or no? Am I understanding that correctly or no?
Yes, I might say that.
Or did the
Well,
performance of the gray drop as soon as you did that?
let me see it actually.
So Jorge, we're kind of go ahead. No, go ahead, Aiden.
The gray, and this is actually this is my biggest issue. This is kind of why I'm going back and forth between it, because the ads will kind of, they just fluctuate so much to the point where I'm like, I don't know if it's puttering out and it's dead and it's not going to do anything ever again, or I don't know if I just need to do a new ad, like duplicate the winning ad 3 or 4 times and then see what happens. So they weren't running at the same time,
They
but
were not.
Hmm?
They were not run at the same
they
time.
were not running at the same time.
Okay, so basically the gray was in here, and then you put the black in here and you shut off the gray one.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the black one was performing better than the gray one did.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And then you create another ad set with just the black one.
Yes, with the, dude, so crazy. I did the black one, but then that's when I also tested the space background one.
Okay. And they're both in this ad set or different ad sets?
Uh, I did them both in the same ad set.
Okay, gotcha. And then in this one, the space was doing better.
Mhm.
Okay. So the gray one in the first ad set, it was puttering out, and that's why you killed it, and then you put the black one in there, or you put the black.
Yes.
Okay. So question two is like, so I guess what I'm asking is like, do you have thoughts on like which is better to do, like just throwing in ads into an ad set that's already performing and not really touching the ads, or do you think it's wiser to just create a new ad set and test ads in there? Like every single round, you just create a new ad set and you leave the previous ones alone if they're performing.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm coming to the conclusion. I've honestly I've seen so much good come from both.
Yeah.
I will say though that I have often seen an ad set that when you duplicate it of from like a winning one for seemingly no reason whatsoever, even if the old winning one was off, the CPM is through the freaking roof and you'll get no clicks, you'll get no landing page views and no leads. Despite it being pretty much the exact same thing as the winning one before. So I feel like I'm coming to the conclusion that it's better to do a new ad in the ad set, but I have also seen so much good, and I've cut cost per lead so much by doing new tests in a separate ad set.
Mm. How often do you see that happen where you have another ad set?
Uh, it kind of so
So that kind of goes to my theory though, right? Like, because that's literally what I said is like, I'll have an ad set and then I'll create another ad that's a duplicate of this one. And it's like they're competing because they have the same targeting, even though this one's off. I hear you, which that doesn't fucking make any sense. But it's like, it's kind I don't know. It's like we're telling because it's the same ad set, results are fucking shit. And so I wonder if it's because it's the competing thing. I wonder if it's because this already started puttering out, things already started puttering out. And so the new ad set, it's not going to do as well. I don't know.
oh, you know what? I kind of did actually see something like that. I did a it was interesting. I did a dynamic, but this one was also kind of slowing down anyways. Damn, that's kind of crazy. I did a dynamic ad set just to try something out and I got really cheap leads. But then but then I turned it off too. So I don't even really freaking know. Dang, that's crazy. It could have been that. It seemed like this one ad set, it seemed like the results were kind of puttering off anyways, sort of.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to do a new separate ad test and then just
Yeah. I hear you. So, yeah, it's just like all over the place, Aiden.
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it is. Like, there's no seems to be like no consensus on like what the right way to do things is right now. But Jorge, so here's kind of my advice to you, bro, from my conversation with Aiden is like, okay, let's say we create an ad set, okay, and then let's say we create another ad set. You have an ad in here, you have an ad in here. Let's say for some reason or another, like this ad set just doesn't perform, right? This ad set doesn't perform. And then let's say this ad set performs, okay? So we kill off this ad set and then this becomes like our home. And even though I feel scared as fuck to do this, whenever we want to test out new ads, for now, let's just throw them in here. Does that make sense? Let's just try
So
that for now.
this
So
would be the Advantage Plus.
whichever one you have that's working, bro.
Okay.
Whatever ad
Because
set you have that's working, fuck everything else. Let's fuck
uh-huh.
duplicating. Let's fuck everything, and let's just keep throwing ads in here, and
Hmm.
yeah, just test it. So like, let's say you have an ad in here, it's working, and then eventually stops working. Okay, fuck it. We throw another ad in here. Just keep testing ads in here. Let's just try that for now. Let's see what happens. Um, yeah, that's kind of the best thing I tell you based off of what I'm hearing from Aiden right
So
now.
same copy and everything, like same, like everything would be the same. And just adding a new creative in there is the only thing that's the difference.
Well, so I guess what was our conversation like? Why did I ask you to ask Aiden about this? Is it where are we doing
Um,
ads, or is your ad starting to not work, or what was happening?
yeah, the because I was asking you like, hey, should I, since I figured out that it was through the feed, should I stop this one or should I make one that's just feeds placement? And we did the Advantage Plus to figure out what feed, well, what placement would be the best option.
Okay. So yeah, you had one ad set, and then you had another ad set. This ad set was like expensive, it wasn't working, and then you had the Advantage Plus, and that one was working really well. And
Mhm.
we found it was like feeds and reels or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
this ad set not working. Fuck this ad set. This ad set, the one that's Advantage Placement, let's just keep it. Let's just rock with it, and we'll just keep throwing ads in there if you want to test out more ads,
hmm
and just not touch anything. Don't touch anything. Don't touch. All you're gonna do is you're gonna throw in new ads in there,
hmm
or duplicate the existing ad once it dies down. But let's just try to keep everything within that ad set for now.
So right now the ad is kind of, I think it's at like 70 something since we've gotten it. Like it went from like I think like 20 or $30, $30 I think so. And it's been going up since then.
Okay.
So you're saying kill that one, duplicate that same one, and then add another one?
So what I would say, so basically we're getting book calls for like $30, and now it's like $70 and it hasn't booked the call yet.
No, correct.
So let's just do this. Duplicate the ad and then kill the original ad.
And
Okay.
by the way, I would duplicate it like 3 or 4 times.
You would duplicate the ad 3 or 4 times and see which one of those like pop off.
If you duplicate it once, there's a really good chance that it's not going to work. But if you do it 3 or 4 times, guaranteed at least one of them is going to do really well.
Cool. Interesting. Cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, let's give it a shot, bro. It's like
So
it finds a good pocket and the other ones are not good pockets. Is that kind of the idea, Aiden?
I don't know, man. Who knows, dude?
No, dude, I get it. I'm frustrated too, but that's my theory is like if you duplicate it, it's like okay, you have it once, you duplicate it, it might not be in a good pocket. You duplicate it 3, 4 times, it's bound to chances are it's bound to find one good pocket of people, and the other might be shit. So that makes sense.
Yeah. But we're doing that with our clients a lot. Like all of our clients, we did that exact same thing. We took like 3 or 4 of the ads that had just been crushing it, did it in the winning ad sets, and they're getting unbelievable results. And then we tried it with ourselves. Again, unbelievable results. And also, I'll add, I know this is, I don't know, in my experience, I know, I don't know that you would necessarily recommend this, Kushik, but when I looked at the placements and then I did the manual placements based on what I saw working, that's when my cost per lead was like a third of what it used to be or less.
It makes sense. Like that totally makes sense. And I would do that too. I just and it's fucking weird because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Like for example, I think we did that literally with maybe Jorge or Righteous, where we did advantage placements, we saw where it was performing, and then we create another asset specifically going to those placements and it didn't perform. But it could also just be that maybe we need to have the exact same ad copied 4 times in there. And you know what I mean? So it's possible. That's a good point, dude. Yeah. We didn't try that. We just had one ad within the ad set. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully everybody, righteous Jorge, hopefully you guys heard that. That was like super important. That little
try like 3, 4 times, same ad set, just duplicate the ad itself.
yeah. So keep
Once, then doesn't work, go again, doesn't work.
yeah. So here's Aiden's overall strategy. So step one, create advantage plus mate ad set, create ads in there, find your winning ad, right? So maybe you have 4 different ads in there. You find your winner. Okay, cool. Once you found your winner, let it rip, let it do its thing. And then when maybe it starts puttering out, whatever, try to duplicate that ad multiple times, and then maybe one of those will work. And again, you're doing everything within one ad set. But if you want to get even more refined results, you look at the placements and then you create another ad set where again you create 4 of the exact same winning ad. And you just do the specific placements. So Facebook feed, for example. So that's his kind of overall formula.
Just a quick question. So like when you're saying you duplicate them, are you doing that all at once or are you waiting for those to like putter out all at once? So you have 4 of them running at the same time to kind of see which one is the best out of the duplicates.
Yeah. So if this is an ad set, each four of these are the exact same. And then if these don't work, boom, this works. Cool. Let it rip. And then create another ad set if you want to optimize with the specific placements that, it tells you. And again, you're going to have the same thing like 4 times and then find the winner.
But so it's going to be the same ad 4 times?
Yep. Same ad.
Oh, okay.
And
And
once
so
you have a winner, yeah.
yeah, the idea is that each of these is getting a different pocket of people.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess what we could do, Jorge, is yeah, we could take that ad, bro. And again, like step one is like, let's just do it 4 times. Let's see if it works, pops off. And then next thing we'll do is we'll create another ad set that'll be just feeds. And it'll be like 4 of the exact same ads as well. That'll be like the next level. Does that make sense?
yeah. I'm having a so where does the new ad come into play? Is it just right now the one that we found that's been winning,
Yeah.
which
So
is the
I'll give you step by step what to do. So right now, let's take your ad set, the one that works, advantage placements. We're going to take the ad that was working. We're going to duplicate it 4 times. We're going to kill off the original. And then hopefully one out of those 4 works well. If it does, then what we're going to do, phase 2, if you want to spend more money, is we're going to create another ad set with specifically the placements that all the leads are coming from. So I think Facebook feeds or whatever it is for you. And then we're going to have 4 of the exact same ads within that ad set as well. And then just let the one rip that's performing well. Um, Also, Aiden, when you're doing these ads, dude, are you doing it where the post ID is different for all the ads, or is it the same post ID?
That's a good question. I think they're different. I don't intentionally go for the post ID. I have seen that work really well before. Like I've seen it do really, really well before. I've seen crazy things when I was working at another marketing agency. But I don't necessarily do. I literally just like, well, if
Just
I'm in the ads manager, I just copy and then go into the ad set and paste it, or like I'll duplicate it, hit like 1, 2, 3, and just publish it.
So hopefully that makes sense, Jorge. Is he's not like, remember how we were talking about like posting ID and all that stuff? He's not doing that. He's just like, so all 4 of them could be technically different ads.
so literally just like duplicate button, duplicate button, duplicate button.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that in terms of ads, bro. Do you have other questions regarding ads, bro?
Mm. No, just pretty much just let this one ride then, right? Like I know you mentioned earlier, like a while ago, like, hey, like what do I do in my free time? Like, make new ads, and then we have that ad in reserve. There's another ad that I have in reserve. Pretty much just let this one ride for now then.
Yeah, I mean, unless your results are getting more expensive, they are getting more expensive, then again,
Uh-huh.
let's do the duplicating thing. If you're asking what to do in your free time regarding ads, um, I would, yeah, I mean, if you can carve out time to like create ads like once a week and then we just have them to cycle through, like that would be good when the time is
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Okay, no, that's what I was asking. Like, I have some in reserves, but just want to make sure like we
yeah,
maximize, squeeze the juice out of both the ones that we got going on right now.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's all the questions I have on ads. The
Okay.
rest is just sales stuff. But
Okay. So let's do some sales stuff then. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out like which one maybe we should go through that would be the best for everybody. Talk to me about this discovery call. So, okay, actually you responded. So cool. So here's a couple of notes I took about it afterwards, and I would say it's a good lead because he ran spider free offers, which is this program sales reps who can handle. So should have asked how many leads they're getting because he said they're getting a lot. Let's try to discover more pain. Asked me what I thought was a good. Okay. So why do you feel like so yeah, it sounds to me like he sounds super confident and all that stuff again. Which just seems like you're kind of running into over and over again. Um, what do you think would have made it like why is it not a 10? Like what could have been what do you think needed to be done different? Like you think he needed to have a light bulb moment or what do you think needed to have happen?
Yeah, I think if it was a 10, I would have gotten something like, oh man, like I didn't think about that, or oh that's wow, I didn't realize that that was going on, or like to me, like diving more, like making them feel that pain and then having them be like, wow, that is different than what I've heard, you know, or like since they're talking to a lot of other guys, most of the time they're other agencies involved, like, wow, you know what? Um, I like what you got to say instead of these other guys. I think that would have made it a 10.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Having more like buy-in for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so this is long. It's a 46-minute call. So let's see.
Yeah, dude was a yapper.
Okay. So in that case, then it might make sense to start with Aiden's because it's a relatively long call. Um, so I guess like okay, before I go in and start just like skimming through some calls and stuff, does anybody else have any like kinds of any questions? Righteous, you got anything? Aiden, you got anything? Tenny, any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right. Then Aiden, can you where do you have your second call on your Excel sheet?
The second call, do you want to go over the one that went better or the one that did not go so great?
Oh, yeah, you said the third one, right? That was the third. It was the third one you said to go over.
I
Sorry.
put it in, I just put it in the general communication or in the reply thread.
Okay.
I was gonna say real quick, if I'm like in and out just because I'm still at work, so I'm just gonna be like
Okay, cool.
chime in when I can, but I'm here. I'm good for now.
Cool, cool, cool. So this is the one, Aiden, all right. Matthew, okay.
This is Matt. Matt, how's it going? It's Aiden over at Mice Media. You booked a. Hey, Aiden, sorry, I missed you. No, you're totally fine. You just working with contractors, and that's just how it goes. So, yep, exactly. Do you still have a few minutes? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, well, I appreciate it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to be respectful of that. Yeah, I just have a few questions for you. See if we can help. If we can, I'll let you know. And honestly, if we can't, I'll be pretty transparent.
I like the tonality in your voice, not robotic. There's fluctuations. I like that. It seems like a normal conversation so far, so good.
About that as well. If that's all right. Yeah. So, yeah, so just because this is our first time, meeting and talking, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about Mice Media. So I'm Aiden Anderson. I'm the founder of Mice Media. And what we are, Matt, is we're a small marketing agency that works with only contractors. So, not any other kind of business, not, med spa or dentists or chiropractors, just contractors. So, yeah, we specialize in getting kitchen remodels. So, we've been at this since 2021. Since then, we've helped, over 35 contractors triple their revenue using Facebook and Instagram ads. So, anyway, that's a quick rundown on us. So, yeah, Matt, my first question for you is, what made you schedule a call with us today? You saw our ad, you opted in. I'm kind of new to South Dakota area in Iowa, where I was born and raised, and actually had my own company there, and then kind of closed up and kind of got closer to my wife's family up here. That's kind of why we're in South Dakota now. And then I work for a couple of gym girls here, and they just do things differently up here, and I don't do shady stuff. And they want to, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go back out on my own. And so that's kind of why I just opened my company up here in Sioux Falls. And then I was like, what? I just want to kind of see what you guys have to offer. If I'm a good fit, or if we're a good fit for each other, and just kind of see what we can kind of do from there.
Okay, so before you respond, we'll see what you respond with. Here's, I think, what I would have said next. I think I would have said, cool, got it, man. So it sounds like you've kind of relocated and, you're not exactly enthusiastic about how people, kind of like maybe the rules, regulations, and things like that. Understood. But I guess kind of going back to my initial question, Matthew, really my question kind of comes from a place of like, like what's maybe not working as well as you'd like it to work in your business, right? Like for example, is it getting leads? Is it like closing deals? Is the amount you're charging? Like what exactly is it that you'd like help with? That's kind of what I meant in terms of why did you click on this ad and book this call? That's what I would have said. Did you say something similar to that?
Well, looking at my notes, we got there eventually.
Okay. So the reason I would do that is I'm trying to get the core thing. That's kind of what I kind of get to everybody, over to everybody's like, you got to find the core thing that somebody needs help with. Like, get that core thing, and then I'm just going to latch onto that for majority of the conversation. I want to find the thing that's the most important thing to them.
Yeah, and I don't know how soon I do after this at this point, but I do. It's like fairly soon after.
Okay.
I bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's fantastic. I love that, by the way. It's really easy for GCs to be shady and do all sorts of crooked stuff, and so
Good.
anyways, I appreciate the integrity. Like, personally, that means a lot to me. I work. There's not much of that around. I feel like anymore. Yeah, no, I totally feel that. Tough times, different times. Oh, dude,
Yeah, I think what I would have said about Integra, it's a small little thing, Aiden, but I think what I would have said regarding Integra, I like what you said there, like affirming him, letting him know that you're listening. I think what I would have said is something about not, it's not important. I would have said something about integrity is super important, right? Like being able to trust each other. So, again, that's part of the reason why we have these calls and to kind of step on the right feet. I'm not even saying it the right way. I think what I'm trying to get across is like you kind of said that it's important to you. And let me go back.
I'm sure we personally that means a lot to me. I work.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. Instead of saying that, it's like instead of saying it's important to me, it's like it's important in building a good relationship. Like it's good to have that value. Small little thing, don't worry about it. What I just said is like not even that important.
Not much of that around. I feel like anymore. Yeah, no, I totally feel that. Tough time, different times. Oh, dude, I'm sure we could swap stories about that all day. I guess really I wanted to dial in a little bit more on what it is exactly that you're looking for. Like, what are you hoping to get out of this conversation? What is it that you're hoping to get from potentially what we might have to offer?
Okay. So yeah, I think that so this is probably what you meant of like you got into it. So I would refrain from saying that because when you say like, oh, what would you have gotten from it? It's so open-ended. It's like, what would you have gotten? Well, I want to learn more about what you do. Or I want to learn more about the price point. I want to learn about the different offers. There's so many things you've opened yourself up to him saying a bunch of shit where you want to phrase the question to put him in checkmate. You need to phrase your question in a way to get him to give you the response you want. Does that make sense? So your job is to phrase questions the right way to ensure you get the right response. I already know what response I want. I know I want the core pain problem. So I'm going to say things to get that answer versus you're saying something that's going to give you like 10 different things that he could say. And then now the conversation drags on. And so let's just say theoretically he responds, maybe he probably responded the right way, but let's just say he responds with, well, I want to know more about the services. Now, what do I have to say? It's like, yeah, man, we do all kinds of different services regarding this, this, this. It just really depends on where you're at in your business. So I guess my core question is like, what is the problem that you're facing right now? See how I have to ask another question? We've just wasted like 3-4 minutes getting to the core of the problem. So you'd be laser targeted with that question.
Leads, jobs, whatever, that's probably my biggest thing. Just get
So again, he said to you, luckily, what you needed to hear.
more work lined up. Okay, good deal. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. How are you getting your leads, your jobs at the moment, if you're getting any? It's just all word of mouth since I opened it, which, I've only, I was a couple, for 2 or 3 weeks that I've been doing on my own now. And I have 2 basement finishes, and a bathroom remodel.
I think so. If somebody said to me, I'm looking to get more leads and more things, instead of saying how, because he's saying I need more. So that's a quantity thing. I would have said, cool, man. Well, how many are you getting right now? Instead of saying how, I would say, how many are you getting right now? Because he's leading with, I need more. Okay, well, how many are you getting? And then, so if he says I'm getting 5 or 10 or 15, now that gives you a baseline of what to work with. After he tells you like I'm getting 5, I'm getting 2, now I can go into got it. So you're only getting 2. I could even punch him that way. Oh, dude, you're only getting 2. Okay, well, I guess like what are you doing? So that would be my second question instead of that being my first question.
It's all from people I've met since I've been here for a couple of years, and knowing I went on my own, and they're like, well, hey, come do our stuff. And obviously I have pictures of past jobs that I did when I had my company, right? Those and quality and testimony of other people that I work with and done work for. So that's kind of how I've gotten what I've gotten so far. That's good. At least you're able to kind of show a bit of a portfolio for yourself, even though you're starting out. So that always helps, right? Right. What else are you doing to get new customers, man? Now I haven't really tried too much. I was first avenue I was going to try is you, and see kind of where that went. Okay, good deal.
So I like that. I like that. I like what he's saying in terms of the first, because usually in my experience, people that have like work, so you have people that have worked with multiple agencies, those people sometimes are hard to sell because they've been burned in the past. Versus, and then there's the type of avatar, which is like, I want to work with somebody, you're the first, but like I have seen all these ads from all these people and I don't know what's bullshit, what's not. Right. So there's 2 kinds of people. One, he's never worked with somebody and he's like extremely skeptical. 2, he's worked with people in the past, he's been burned. But you have a variant of this person, which is, hey, I want to see what's out there. And he's not skeptical. To me, it doesn't sound like he's skeptical. Like his voice is toned out. This is fantastic. I love these people.
Obviously, no, I haven't started it yet, but before I had a Facebook page and a website attached to that, and I built a couple custom houses in Iowa. Oh, really? So it's like, one thing I do have and always have is work ethic and the know-how, just go and get stuff done. Right. Okay. But being in a new market.
Okay. So Hormozy talks about this. I think he says like the closer framework, clarify why they're there, learn, CLO. Okay. Clarify why they're there, learn what they've done, observe why it didn't work, sell them, and then I don't fucking know, like resell them on why they made the right choice. So basically, so step one is like, okay, he doesn't get enough jobs. Cool, man. Well, how many jobs are you getting? Oh, I'm getting this many. Ah, cool, man. Well, you're only getting this many? I guess like, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Got it. Are you doing anything else? No, I'm only doing this. Got it. So I guess like, what's the problem with that? Do you see what I'm doing there? Because now it's going to expose him into like, well, dude, referrals, they only come here and there, da 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 da. Then that opens me up to be like paid ads. So that just naturally like goes into the flow. I hope that makes sense logically. So maybe in your future conversation, maybe hopefully you're writing that down. Core problem, what is it? Okay, cool. You need more client. So why are you here? What's the biggest problem? Lead them to say, I need more leads. Got it. You need more. So how many are you getting? I'm only getting it. Got it. So what are you doing? Okay, are you doing anything else? That okay, I guess like what's the problem with that? And then what else is the issue? What else is the issue? I mean, have you looked into anything else? Cool. Well, and now you can lead into yourself.
It's it's not like growing up in Iowa for 44 years. Yeah. Well, and it's tough when I talk to the know-how, just go and get stuff done. Yeah, but what else are you doing to get new customers, man? Right now, I haven't really tried too much. I was first avenue I was going to try is you and see kind of where that went. Okay, good deal. But obviously, I haven't started it yet, but before I had a Facebook page and a website attached to that, and I built a couple custom houses in Iowa. Oh, really? So it's like,
I don't really like, hey, I have a Facebook page. I haven't tried this yet, but I have a Facebook page and it's not because now what happens, he's kind of thinking of exploring other options. So it's like, oh, let me go explore this other thing before I hire you. I don't really like that, right?
One thing I do have and always have is work ethic and the know-how, just go and get stuff done.
Fortunately, he didn't spend too long there. That's usually not a good sign. Somebody says, oh, I have this Facebook page. I'm considering trying this and this and that and this and that. That's a red flag because that means they're going to want to try those things before they hire you. So I'm usually looking away. So he didn't spend too long there. So that tells me like he's not sold on. He's just like letting you know, like, hey, he's trying to like kind of maybe like show you that he's not a bum. He's like got some things. He's thinking about some things.
Right. Okay. But being in a new market, it's not like growing up in Iowa for 44 years. Yeah. Well, and it's tough when I talk to contractors every day who they've been doing it for 20 some odd years, right? But then they've been doing it in the same spot for 20 some odd years. So it's like the reputation alone can bring in just enough work to get by, or there's usually some somewhat consistent word of mouth, right? But right. No, man, if this all worked out with this system, if I feel like it's going to be a good fit. It's not gonna matter if you've been here for a week. It's not gonna matter if you've been here for 10 years. This is gonna get you in front of the right people. So, yeah, man, have you ever tried any sort of online ads yet, or online marketing? Or not? Okay, good deal. No worries. Yeah, man. So basically, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm
okay. So I think so you're leading right into your thing, but I don't think it's bad, right? I think what you're doing is fantastic. It's fine so far. If I were to just make a change, the only thing is I would try to get him to tell you why his shit sucks, which is what you haven't done. So it's like, well, what's the issue with that? What's the issue with you're actually, you kind of did do it, but you're speaking for him. That's okay. Here's the problem is you're speaking from, here's like, yeah, man, when you move into town and it's good. And then you move to another location and you're kind of let him say that to you, let him say that to you. And then you tell him like, yeah. And then you validate him. So you're doing a good job of validating him, but you kind of, you should have let this be pain for him. And then you should have validated it for him. That's what I would have done different.
I'm hearing you say is, there's no consistent or reliable system to bring in new leads and get you like more consistent jobs. Okay.
Good. So you got to the same place, right? You did it in a different way, but you got to the same place. This is ultimately where you needed to get. Good.
Okay, perfect. Just have a couple more questions about, the business side of things. So, and you can include this.
I think what I would have said right there before you get into that is just to pace him and keep his attention is like, cool, man. Well, that's exactly what we do here. I'll get into that here in a second. Just got two more questions for you. I would have injected that little small thing just so in his head he's like, okay, perfect. I'm in the right place. I'm excited. And then, okay, cool. Like, what other question do you have for me, man?
This too from, when you were back in Iowa, so I want to know more about your closing ratio. So, if you give 5 bids or 10 bids, how many of those are you going to close, do you think?
That's probably one of my strong points is
So why are you asking this question? Are you trying to figure out LTV or are you trying to figure out whether he's good at closing? What are you trying to figure out here?
1 second. Which question was it? Sorry. The closing ratio?
Yeah, so you're asking like, hey, so if I gave you like 5 jobs, how many of those are you closing?
Yeah. For, I don't know, I guess like it, I don't know. I guess it's not as important as like, for example, the average price or,
I guess my question is like, what are you trying to figure out though? Like what is your objective of asking this question? What was going through your head of like what obviously something prompted you to want to ask this question. You obviously thought it was important at the time. What are you trying to figure out?
yeah, I mean, all the contractors that I talk to, I don't know. I like to ask it to get a sense of, where they are at already with the referral leads and the other kind of leads they've already gotten. For example, a lot of contractors I talk to, they close 1 out of 10 of their referral leads, and it's like that's piss poor, bro.
Yeah.
But this guy was the opposite. He closes like 90% of his referral leads. And so for me, it's just getting a better sense of how successful will they really be, because if they can't close, then they're not really gonna
I see.
benefit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. So you're in a position where you just got to sell, right? Like it doesn't matter where they suck balls. To be honest, like where you're at right now, right, you just need to fucking learn how to sell. Like it doesn't matter whether they churn after a month or 2 months. Your job is just to get them on the finish line, collect the money, and then if they work, great. If not, fuck it, move on. That's the truth. Now, if you're in a place where like your hands are full and you can't take on more clients, I totally get that. Eliminate the bad people, right? For sure. So in this case, like if I were in your shoes, I'm just talking about persuasion right now, right? So if let's say he says something good to me, all I care, like right now, your mind is thinking, okay, great. If he's closing a good close rate, he's probably gonna be a good client. Cool, man. That's probably what's going through your head. For me, I'm not thinking that. If he says to me like, oh yeah, I'm closing at a high rate, here's what I'm gonna do. Like, awesome, perfect. The reason I like to ask for that is our job is to generate the traffic, generate the leads, warm them up, hand it over to you. So long as you can close, dude, like we're gonna be good. That's what I would have said. Why would I have said that? To persuade him to sell him. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want to say something to him. So if he hears that, he's like, fuck yeah. It's going to build his confidence. That's why I would have said that.
a gap, people call it.
Yes.
I would say if I'm talking to them, I close the deal. There's not very many, even like back home. I would say my closure rate was up in 80%.
Wow.
So if I'm talking to them, I'm getting the job 9 times out of 10.
That is
Maybe not 9 times out of 10. But yeah, 10. I don't want to sound like a cocky ass or anything.
No, dude.
More than that one.
We're gonna own it, dude. That's awesome. I speak to contractors where they think they're the shit and they're like, yeah, I close 1 out of 10. And I was like, I mean, it's not bad, you'll get by, but man, oof kind of thing. So yeah, dude, we're gonna own it, man. That's awesome.
For people, and I don't screw people over. And when I do, I don't know how a lot of guys do it. When I do my invoicing or if I'm breaking out an estimate, everything's right there, black and white. There's no, gray area of what is being charged or well, what the hell is this charge? Oh, well, yeah, about that. I'm very upfront, honest.
I love that, man. And people can smell bullshit from a mile away, so that's really important. So that's fantastic. So I forgot to ask this. Like if you want to get, is there like a specific type of job that you want to get more of?
So hopefully does that make sense, Aiden? Like, so I'm listening to what you said versus what I just said. You didn't take the opportunity, like you take the opportunity to like just make him feel like a good person. No.
Yeah.
Your job is to sell him on everything that you say and do is to sell him on your system works and it's going to crush for him. You completely missed that opportunity. You're just validating him as a person. If I was in your shoes, it would be, yeah, dude, the reason I'm out, like I said, is ask for this. If you can do it, dude, we're going to hand them off to a silver platter. I mean, every single day we're talking about 1 to 2 leads a day, bare minimum. And so long, and then again, our system's going to nurture them. So long as you hop on the call, man, and you're talking to people, like I think you're gonna be in a good place. What is that going to do? Again, it's going to persuade him, okay, this shit's going to work for me. So I would have capitalized on it if I were you.
Like basement finishes. Are you looking for more remodels, kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels? Roofing. I don't know.
All the above. All of it actually. I have guys that do everything. So I don't want to shy away from anything that's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes when you try to do one specialty, you either be really good or you really limit yourself.
Yeah.
So I would like to be, pretty all around guy, jack of all trades, master of none.
Okay.
Kind of guy instead of specializing in all I do is basically
So why are you, again, what's going through your head in terms of asking? Knowing you, I already know it's probably a strategic thing of like, oh, is this going to be a good client? Or like you're probably, I would assume, my guess is that you're asking to decide like what kind of ads to run for him. That's probably like where your mind is at. Why are you asking?
Yeah, the point is to, be like, is there a specific, job you're exactly to like reaffirm that, and then kind of like I didn't do it that last point is to tie that back into the system and the ads and things that we're doing. So.
Exactly. So if it were me and I'm asking this question, guess what I'm gonna say, just if you had to guess.
Whatever says, be like, oh, good deal, that's perfect. We've had our system generate, XYZ results for people doing just that or something like that. Or like the system is perfect for getting exactly those kinds of leads or something like that, something along those lines.
Something like that. You're getting it. So that's perfect. You're starting to get it, Aiden. Here's maybe where my mind is. And maybe that's a good response, by the way. That's a good response. So I think I would have said something like, so it's like, okay, so you like basement, whatever. He's like, well, I don't want to close myself on off to this. It's like, got it, man. The reason I'm asking is, every contract is a little bit different in terms of like workflow versus profitability. And so at the end of the day, like we want to make sure that we get you what's going to drive the highest profit per hour for you. So is that basements for you? Is that kitchen for you? Is that bathrooms? Like what specifically do you feel like is most profitable for you? Because that's what we're going to focus on for you.
And I actually do that on a lot of calls. I just don't do that consistently. So I'll write that down. I'll make that a part of.
Yeah, yeah. If you're going to ask this question, make sure you, again, that ties into your system, right? It's like, okay, oh yeah, I want to do, oh cool, man. Well, and then let's say he says to, let's just say theoretically he says to, okay, in that case, we'll do kitchen remodels. So let's say he said that. I'd be like, okay, perfect. That's actually what I thought. What I've come to know is that's like the most profitable thing that we've seen across the board. So we'll make sure that we focus on that for you specifically. So again, it ties into the system. So I'm affirming to him like, yeah, man, that is the most profitable thing. That's what I've seen over and over again. We'll go and do that for you.
all I do is kitchens.
Right. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I want to do that. I have experience doing it all.
Yeah. But I love
Kind
it.
of where I want to be.
I actually really love talking to those contractors that are the jack of all trades because they can offer a lot of things that other contractors don't, and that actually will add to the lifetime value of that customer. I've even seen contractors offer, maintenance programs where they have, they kind of offer what they call like a customer only or a member only.
So I like what you're doing there in terms of LTV. So one way is like, okay, that's perfect. So the fact that you're a jack of all trades is perfect. Because if that's the case and you're like not really you're what's the word I'm looking for? Atheist towards like agnostic towards basement, kitchen, whatever, then we'll focus on each of those for you. And then the great thing about that is once we get somebody to say yes to that, well, because of your experience, you're going to be able to do these other locations for them, which will drive up your LTV, which will drive the ticket price. So I'm glad to hear that. So again, you tie it to the system. There's a benefit for them.
Only, kind of discount kind of thing for if anything else comes up in their home, they call them. Anyway, really cool stuff. But I guess my next question, and that's good to know because, again, our system can get all those things. But what I'm more concerned with for you, Matt, is I want to get you the biggest return.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
If we're going to be investing into ads, right? I want to get us the biggest return on what we invest in. So for those, which one of those would you say has, do you have higher margins on or the highest margins?
Oh man, just because I know what the margins are, I feel like, like unfortunately, roofing is an absolute highest margins. If you're one of the highest margins you can get. But the thing is, there's so many people do roofing, so the field's so saturated.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with my margins not being totally crazy out there. At the end of the day, yeah, we all need to get paid and make money. But at the same time, if I make a little less doing something else, I'm still making money.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, good deal.
So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't look at it like, oh my gosh, I got to make 30% on every job. If I make 10% on this one and 20 on the other one, 50 on another one, well, I still have a bunch of work coming in instead of making 70% on one project. And then I'm sitting for the next 6 months because I don't have anything else, but I'm so far up there.
I like that. It sounds like you're going to be flexible. Like you are going to be closing a lot of deals just based off of that. I guess for the sake of this conversation, let's say that we're doing like, and you and I both know that whenever somebody asks for a price, it depends, of course, right? But if you had to give me like a middle or like an average, let's say like a kitchen remodel, what's your average kitchen remodel in your area maybe? And then what's your profit margin on that?
So we'll go back to Iowa, my old business. I did a total gut of kitchen living room area basically, and then added into like bedrooms and everything else. Which is add-on stuff with me being there. But I did a little very well put in beam, took everything out, completely gut, put it back, and I think I made, I want to say God was close to 75, and I think my bring home after everything was pretty close to 25.
That is excellent. That's fantastic. And because yeah, again, we want to focus on the returns, right? But every contractor that I talk to is different. You know, California, Texas, you know, New York, everywhere they all have different kind of margins. So that's
Right.
really healthy, really good margins. I like that. And again, like you said, it could fluctuate with different jobs, but that's fantastic. That's a good anchor point. So thank you for that. Are you,
So I think you did a great job there. Could you have added something? What's coming to my mind right now? So maybe what you could have added is 25% profit margins. So out of the 75, you took home 25. That's fantastic. The reason I'm asking is with those profit margins, you're going to be able to make ads work very profitably for you from what I'm seeing. So that small little thing, what that's going to do, it put in his mind like, okay, ads is for me. It's not too expensive. It makes sense. I'm getting an ROI on that. So that's maybe what a small little thing you could have said.
so are you the one? Would you be the one doing the estimates and working the project? Like, do you have guys working for you or crews or anything? Or
I will have guys working with me, but I'll be on every job site, and I'll do all the estimates.
okay. And then so you'll be able to handle reaching out to the leads as well, then, though.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay, so what could you have said there? Cool, man. Cool, man. Yeah. Once we launch this bad boy, we're talking about 1 to 2 leads every single day. So long as you're ready for them, I feel really good about it. Or that's music to my ears because that's music to my ears because once the bad boy launches, we're talking about 1 to 3 leads every single day throughout the day. So now that's gonna get and be like, fuck yeah, man. I want 1 to 3 conversations a day.
and then are you able to, like, let's say we get you enough leads, are you able to spin up more crews if needed?
Oh, 110%.
I figured as much. I've never had a contractor tell me no to that. So, I guess I know you. So I want to know like kind of your radius right now. Like how far do you go? Because
Honestly, we'd probably go, depending on, the profit margin for right and everything makes sense. I'd probably go a couple hours out of Sioux Falls.
Okay.
So that could be, and that's 2 hours either way, because I got where I live. Iowa literally is 10 minutes from me. Minnesota's literally 10 minutes from us. 2 hours could be quite a ways in Iowa, quite a ways in South Dakota, quite a ways in Minnesota.
Okay, so one thing you might want to write down, this one's important. If you're going to ask this question, how far people go out, be like, okay, the reason I'm asking is we only do 1 contract per 35-mile radius. That's why. And then give me a second here. Yeah, so looks like we're good in terms of Sioux Falls. We do have somebody in this location. Maybe it's like literally 10 miles north, okay? And just to fuck with them. Just to fuck with them, right? So yeah, we're good here. 10 miles up, we do have somebody, but I think we're good so long as we stay within this rate. Is that cool? He says, yeah. All right, cool. Small little psychological trick. That'll go a long way for you, okay? Small little thing there.
If need be.
I was gonna say, so does that mean that Minnesota and Iowa are on the table for marketing, like for getting?
Absolutely.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of, I understand the grind with a 2 hour radius like that, but that's just the kind of the nature of the beast, especially those bigger jobs where
People don't get, I don't want to be rich, but be comfortable. That's where I want to be. And being lazy doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. In fact, actually, that was actually kind of gonna be my next question. So I want to talk about your goals. I want to start with the end in mind, right? So let's say in a year's time, what like revenue number would put a smile on your face in terms of like revenue a month, and why that particular number? The number's bad, by the way.
I don't know if it's gotta be a particular number. Just volume wise, if I was doing 2.5 a year, like mil, there's gonna be a lot of money to make the first million.
Yeah,
To make my first million. And then obviously to make the guys that work with me, not just for them to, live paycheck to paycheck, but them to also enjoy their lives instead of work their butts in the ground like I have for the last 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I make, I'm not a greedy person. I'm a very generous person.
I like it.
So the more I can make, I would like to spread that to the guys that are helping me and help me get to that and achieve that goal.
I like it. Okay, so that would be like if you can reach 2 to 2.5 million in a year, that's where your guys are doing really well. Your crews are sitting really well, and you're at the very least you're very comfortable and you're happy because you're helping your guys out.
Correct.
Okay, good deal. I like that. That's definitely doable.
So here's what I would have said next. I don't know what you're going to say next, but here's what I would have said next. Cool, man. So 2.5 million, that's where we want to go. Where are we starting with? Like, where are you at right now? Just so I know how far we have to bridge the gap.
Nice. Is there any other reason, like particular reason why that number specifically? I'm curious.
No, I mean, if I could do more, I would.
Yeah.
It's just, I would love to be able to say, and to show people, that I don't know how you can make money with hard work, especially kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then be able to, if that's something they want to do, turn it over to them and let them do it.
I love that, man. I personally, that's like my goal for my daughter as well. We got a little 3-year-old, and you and I are on the same page about that. That's, if you're able to put in that.
Then the struggle like I had to.
Yep.
Here's what I would have said if I were you, man. This is a small little thing, but, and maybe it's because of how I position myself as a coach, but I always feel like when you're a coach or a mentor or you're a person that's providing a service, you want to position yourself as you've already been there, not that you're going through the same path. So instead of saying, this is why I'm doing it for my daughter as well, you can say, this is why I started this for my daughter to give her the life that I have always wanted. And, this has been, it's been one of the best decisions I made in my life. So you've already arrived, right? Small little thing, but again, you got to position yourself as way higher than these people because again, they're looking at you as a doctor. They're looking at you as an authority figure. You can't put yourself in their same trajectory or like their same hemisphere. You have to always position yourself much higher. Small little thing, but it goes a long way.
100%.
I forget about this. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I got anything else. I guess so. Let's say that we want to do 2.5 million a year. I know that you've been only starting out for a few weeks at this point. In the few weeks that you've been doing this, like the 3 weeks, how much revenue are you making in the 3 weeks, or do you have an idea of how much you might be making in the next month or two? I don't know.
It's kind of that's pretty kind of tough.
So when you said like whatever, like last 3 weeks, whatever, he's been doing it for years, right?
Yes, but he
Or
just moved there 3 weeks ago.
But like he in his other location, was he working for somebody else or was he a contractor there himself as well?
He actually, I don't know if he was.
Yeah, I think what he's
I think he was working for other GCs, and now he's doing this for himself out here. He might have been doing it for his own over there. I will say this: a lot of contractors that I talk to, they'll move, and like pricing is so different from city, like even like big cities and little cities, in the same state, but like especially state to state.
no, yeah, okay.
Tough. But I would say in the next couple of months it should be. I don't know if I go on the low end just because I don't know.
Mhm.
I would say maybe 10 to 15K.
Okay. That's just from like all kind of the miscellaneous jobs, right?
Yep.
Good deal. Yeah, that's a pretty sizable gap there, right? But
Correct.
based on what you're telling me, I'm honestly feeling pretty confident that our system, our machine can help you bridge that gap. I don't know that we'd be able to bridge that whole gap within 3 months, but we'd be able to get you pretty close, or we'd be able to get you up there, in even just 1 to 2 months time. So yeah, Matt, based on our database of clients, our average client of ours is spending about $1,000 to bring in, anywhere from 60 to 85 or more in revenue, with about 4 to 6 kitchen remodels a month.
Gotcha.
The reason being, the average cost per acquisition, the average cost per closed deal is on average about 300. So for every $300 they're spending, they're bringing in about anywhere from 20 to 35K, right?
Yep.
And so, obviously for you, 33% profit margins. If it was, 33K, that's just one is 11 grand. We're able to get 4 of those. 44 grand, 6 is 66 grand, right? And that's in profit, of course, right?
Okay.
Sounds pretty good. So my question for you, Matt, is would you be able to spend $30 a day?
Okay. So let's see what he says. But here's what I think has happened. Here's what I think happened. What I think happened is you spent 20 minutes grilling him, grilling him, grilling him. And then I know what you think you did in your head, which is I did a transition here. Now I'm going to talk. And you're saying these words, and I don't think he's fully internalizing all these words that you're saying. He's just saying like, yeah, that sounds good. He's not actually doing the math. That's what I think actually happened. And so if I were you, I think what I would have done here is I would have asked all those questions and be like, cool, man. And you did a good job. I just think it's doing a little bit better. Okay. Which you said, okay, cool, man. Well, I think I can help you. I think our system can help. Here's what I maybe would have said a little bit different. And I think it's how you say it as well, Aiden. It's like, cool, man. Well, thank you for answering all those questions. I know I've been grilling you for like the last 15 years. I feel pretty confident. Actually, I feel really confident that we're going to be able to help you bridge the gap. Now, it's not going to happen, in 1 month, but definitely within 3 months, we're going to start making some strides. And here within a year or 2 years, I think we can be considering that goal of 2 million, like we spoke about. That being said, man, I'm going to transition the conversation here a little bit, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we do here and what the next steps are. Is that cool? See how I just asked that question? Is that cool? What does that do? That engages him to understand the conversation is about to change. I'm going to transition. Okay, small little thing, dude, but like I think that would have put him in the right frame because you just kind of were talking information overload going past his head. If you had said that and said, "Cool, man," so is that cool? He says, "Yeah, cool, man." So first things first, man. In terms of the numbers, here's what I'm typically seeing. And I think simplifying. I think you just made it too complex, dude.
I agree.
I think if it were me, again, I didn't listen to anything that you said, and I'm here with you. To me, it went over my head. If I were me, I would say something. I think here's what you want to do is like you want to just like break it down per lead. And again, it might not even fucking be true. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not, Aiden. It doesn't matter, okay? You just need to learn how to simplify and persuade. And here's what I would say. I would say something along the lines of, cool, man. So basically, in my experience, man, it's typically about $10 per lead. So if you're spending $30 per day, Jonathan, that's going to get you 3 conversations a day. And typically what I've seen, man, is 1 out of 20 people turn into a customer. So basically, every $30 that you spend, man, on every 10th day, you're gonna get a new customer. Does that make sense, John? John says, yeah. Cool, man. And as you know, John, like typical job is right around 20,000. You take home about 20% profits. You know, those are your margins. And even that I feel like is too complex. Like I feel like you throw in margins and shit, dude, like it's just too complex.
Yeah.
I think even like just saying, I think even just simplifying, just like, all right, so John, here's basically what I've seen, man. It's like it's typically $10 per lead. At $30 per day, you're getting 3 leads. And in my experience, man, 1 out of 20 turns into a job. Pretty simple. So every $300 that you spend, man, you're gonna get a new customer. That's basically what I've seen. Does that make sense, John? John says, yeah. Cool, man. So, and then here's the thing. Here's a trick. You say it that way, keep it really simple. And then what's going to happen? He's going to be like, yeah. So he did the math. It's not too complex. Then you go into the next question, Aiden, of like, cool, man. So really, man, all I need to know is the answer to this question. And if you're good, man, I'll explain a little bit more about the system. But can you afford to spend $30 per day, man? Is that something you'd be able to do? He says, yeah. And then this whole part is done. So hopefully this is maybe gotten rid of the mysticism of why you're having issues with this problem. I think you're having issues, dude, because of the way you transitioned, and two, not simplifying enough. Those are 2 issues. You did not transition enough to get him to really sit down, focus, and listen. And then two, even if you did, the way you said it was just fucking too complex, dude. You need to just break it down simpler. I think that would have solved a lot of these problems. Also, uh, and then so like, let's say he just says, yeah, man, I'm cool with that. Cool, man. So basically, dude, here's the deal, man. You know how you and I had this conversation? We just do the same thing for you, man. We set up an ad. It's a proven ad. It's a proven system. It works. People see the ad, they click on it, pop in their name, email, phone number. Actually, here's how, actually, before you even get into that, Aiden, based off of this conversation, okay? Based off this conversation, everything I said is still valid. Cool, man. So based off of that, dude, I think I can help you. Like, where's your gap? I think I'm gonna transition the conversation really quick, kind of just break down how our stuff works. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool, man. So basically, man, we just use paid ads, man, just like the one you're seeing right now. We just set up that same system for you. People see an ad, they click on it, they give their name, email, phone number. We actually no, fuck. I'm fucking this up. Sorry, Aiden. Because you gotta ask them about the video, okay? So I'm gonna transition. He says, yeah, cool, man. So, before I get into the system, man, like, have you seen the video that was on our thank you page? Did you get a chance to watch that? Super important. Okay, I keep fucking that up. The reason that's important is based off of how much he has seen or not seen is going to allow you to know what to say and how much to say during this part of explaining this to him. Super important. Okay. So again, I keep repeating myself. Transition, cool, man. I think we help you bridge your gap, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna transition conversation, explain a little bit more about how our system works. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool, man. So really quick before I actually get into the system, there's a video at the top of the calendar confirmation video. Did you get a chance to watch that video? Actually, like kind of briefly gives you a 30,000 feet view of how the system works. If he says no, there's a certain path to the conversation. If he says yes, there's a certain path of the conversation. If he says no, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I literally it's like the last 10 seconds of the phone call.
Everybody, it is everybody.
I was like, oh shoot, dude, I forgot to ask, did you watch the video?
So here's the tip for you, dude, moving forward is like everything you did is like great, man. There's just everything I'm going over with you is like nitpicky small stuff. Of course, it'll move mountains for you, right? It'll move like just like at the very beginning, instead of asking what you asked and asking a laser target specific question is going to make a big difference for you. But like overall, you're doing great. Overall, you're doing okay. The big shift is again, transition smoother and then ask about the video. So moving forward on your discovery calls, when you get to the spot, before you get to explain the system, always ask video, have you watched the video? Have you watched the video? Okay. Now, if he has watched the video, then the way I'm going to say it is it sounds something like this. Cool, man. So basically you see a video. So just high level overview, man, and I'll break this stuff down for you. I'll show you visuals and stuff like that. But high level overview, man, is we just set up a system for you, just like how you met me today, man. It's just an ad, proven ad. People click on it, name, email, phone number. We have an AI system that nurtures them up, send them your way, and then again, you close 80%, dude. So you're just gonna knock them out the park. It's a pretty simple process. Does that make sense so far before I get in the numbers? Yeah, that makes sense, Aiden. So that's what I would say if he has watched the video. If he has not watched the video, then be like, cool, man. So if you haven't watched, cool, man, you haven't watched the video, it's all good. I'm going to send you that video to watch after this conversation because it's a super important video. It's super important that you understand how this all works from A to Z. So I'm going to send that to you. Make sure, again, I'm going to ask you a question to make sure you're on board. But here's a quick high level overview of how it works, man. Basically, the same way you met me, man, we just set up the same system for you. It's just an ad. People see it. It's a proven offer. People click on it. That takes them to a place where they can put their name and phone number. Then we have an AI system that works them, nurtures them, and then sends it to you on a piping hot platter. You have a conversation, close a deal. Again, you close 80%, so things will be pretty smooth for you. Does that make sense before I get into numbers? He says, yeah. So very similar, right? Whether he says yes or no, very similar in terms of what you say. Then from there, it's like, cool, man. So in terms of like the numbers, dude, honestly, it's like $10 per lead and vary wherever you live, whether you're in North Carolina, this, that. So it'll probably be $10 per lead for you. In my experience, $10 per lead. If you're spending $30 per day, that's three conversations that, 3 leads are coming in per day. And in my experience, man, like 1 out of every 20 turns into a customer. It's pretty simple. It's just a numbers game. So again, if you were to spend $30 per day, I'd expect at least probably 3 new cabinet repairs a month. Does that make sense? He says, yeah. Cool, man. So I guess, before I go any further in terms of explaining our system or process or anything like that, I guess like my question to you is, pretty simply, man, are you able to spend $30 per day on advertising? Again, that's probably going to bring you about 4 jobs a month. Boom. You've made it past the numbers and then you can get into whatever else you need to get into. So that's what I would have maybe done a little bit different. Is that making sense so far?
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Cool.
Day on advertising if it meant getting you a project in 10, 14, 20 days.
Say, so $30 a day.
Correct.
So about $900 a month.
Yes.
Roughly on a 30 month calendar period.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I would say that would make sense.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so in that case, honestly, like that's the only green flag I need. Basically, Matt, the next step would then be to schedule.
He didn't sound I didn't see us. He sounds like, okay, if you had said it the way I said it, okay, it would have been like no brainer. There's a little bit of like, there's a little bit of concern, but he's not like the other guy that we're like, oh, fuck, it's too expensive. But like you can hear something.
He's like, yeah, I guess,
He's not fully bought in, right?
No.
So I guess the way I positioned the words, I said the things I said, it would be easier to get him bought in so that by the time you get to the word, he'd be like, yeah, no, that's no problem. It'd be a different type of energy, but it's not bad. Like what he gave you is not, it means you have some more work to do is what it means. But he's not like off the table.
Just a quick 30-minute walkthrough, like a demo where I can visually walk you through our system, our exact machine. I want you to make an informed decision, and basically I want you to be able to determine if after I present you with everything, if you then believe that our system can help you achieve, your goals and get you more jobs, right? So let me just give you a high level overview of how our strategy works, all right? Yeah. So what we do.
Yeah, man. So hopefully you kind of see what you're doing here. You did it backwards. You got to sell him on the system, sell him on everything, then you go for the number commitment. So so now you're kind of just doing an opposite. That's all it is, dude. So my guess is that he went from to by the time you finish this, either got more confused or maybe he got more. He's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. One of those two happened. You either confused the shit out of him or you got him more bought in.
Matt, is we run a proven Facebook and Instagram ad campaign that we have literally poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into so that you and all of our new clients that we're bringing in don't have to spend money wasting and guessing on what's going to work. That's why we're running ads for ourselves right now, right?
Right.
In a nutshell, we target homeowners that are getting ready for a remodel. We get their contact information. We also get information about their project so you can see if you even want them, right? They're a good fit for you or not.
Right.
Then we get them on the phone with you. You get their estimate going, and when you close these leads, we're helping you to track every dollar so that you know exactly what you're getting back from this investment. So simply put, man, it turns closing deals into a repeatable monthly outcome. So why don't we do this, Matt? Let's look under the hood, see if the system really can,
Yeah, I think that you did an okay job there. I think I don't know, man. Like I feel like the way maybe it's just me being biased but I'm like stepping into the shoes of this conversation. I feel like honestly, if you had said it the way I said it, I feel like that would have just sold him. But it's not like your words are bad. I think maybe it's just like the positioning of it that makes me feel a little bit about it. But like I don't think that, you saying words like hundreds of thousands of dollars that we spent, it's proven. I don't necessarily think that's bad. There's some parts of it which is like so that you can track where they come from, and like they don't give a fuck about that. That part I think I don't like.
Into a repeatable monthly outcomes. So you can see if you even want them, right? They're a good fit for you or not.
Right.
Then get them on the phone with you. you get their estimate going, and when you close these leads, we're helping you to track every dollar so that you.
Yeah, this part I don't know that you need to spend time on. Again, I think just hey man, we've got, so basically it starts with a proven ad, just like the one that got you and me here. This ad, man, like it's our bread and butter. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing it across all of our different contractor clients to get it really dialed, and we're gonna use the exact same ad for you, man, because we just know it works. Once people click on that ad, it'll take them to a page. Name, email, phone number. From there, you're automatically notified. It'll go right into your phone, like, hey man, you got something that's piping hot. And then I know you didn't throw this in there, but like fucking throw it in there, dude. Like we have an AI system that nurtures them and just gets them piping hot ready so that by the time you have a conversation with them, man, it's a slam dunk. And then again, with you, for you, and tie it back to him, right? If I were in your shoes, I would tie it back. And you just heard me say it multiple times. So, and again, when we get them over to you, again, you said usually whenever you talk to somebody, you close. So I would expect you to close 80% of these deals, the ones that you get on the phone. Pretty straightforward process. Does that make sense? He says, yeah. And then from there, then you go into, cool, man. Well, if everything sounds good to you, man, really what I'd like to do is I like to just visually show you how it all works, break it all down for you. And then from there, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, we can go over that to make sure you understand the system in a nutshell. And if you're ready to rock and roll, cool, man, we'll take it from there. And that's that. Do you have some time? I've got some time tomorrow at 5 p.m. Are you available tomorrow at 5? I can lock us in. That's it. Like that's pretty much what I would have done. All right, let me refresh this being weird.
Our exact machine, I want you to make an informed decision with everything. If you then believe that our system can help you achieve, your goals and get you more jobs, right? So
I think that's part of it is too, is like, if you believe, I don't know that I would use that word, dude. So like, I think, because I didn't use that word. If you believe, it's kind of like already setting, like you may or may not believe this. It's like, cool, man. I'll just show you how everything works visually, so you can see it from A to Z. Make sure you clearly understand it. And then from there, man, if everything feels good to you, man, we'll rock and roll. Get this bad boy launched for you. You get this launch, it takes about 24 hours, and by Monday you start having leads pour in, man. I think I would have said something like that instead of if you believe, and I don't know. It just feels a little bit weird.
No, 100%. I get you. It's almost like, well, it may or may not. I don't know. It kind of like leaves it up to chance. It kind of leaves it too open-ended in the air,
Yeah. I think the way I said it, the energy, the tone is like, man, we got a thing. It works. Just check it out. Make sure you clearly understand it. If you do, cool, man. We'll rock and roll. It's really just about like, what's the purpose of that call? The purpose, and it almost sounds like, hey, if you believe, it's like, I'm going to sell you. I'm going to persuade, So I think you get it. I can see a smile on your face. So it's like, it just feels like that type of energy versus like, I think my energy is a little bit more like, hey, man, shit works. Like, let me just like show you so you're not confused about it. And then from there, if you feel good, cool, man, we'll rock and roll.
Let me just give you a high level overview of how our strategy works, all right? Of thousands of dollars into wasting and guessing on what's going to work. That's why we're running ads for ourselves right now, right? For a remodel, we did their so you can see if you get their estimate going, and when you close these leads, we're helping you to track every dollar so that you know exactly closing deals into a repeatable monthly outcome. So, turn $1 into $5 or $1 into $10, and show you that system that I want to call dollars, and turn $1 into $5 or $1 into $10, and
I don't know if I would have said that. Turn $1 into 5, 10. It's a big fluctuation. It's like, so I would stick to one thing because you need to sound concrete, right? That's really important. I know you might think it's not a big deal, but it's an important deal. It's like, so in other words, turn every single dollar into $5. Just stick to that. Don't say dollar into $5, $10, because now it's like, well, which one is it?
Yeah.
Show you that system step by step on a call. See if this is the missing thing for you, Yep. I guess when's a good time for us to run through it together?
So again, small little thing, dude, but don't do that, right? You don't say like, what's a good time? Remember? And again, it opens up to this shit for you. Like if you had said it the other way, like, cool, man. So if that sounds good to you, man, like the next step is just me showing you how all that stuff works. I've got looks like I've got tomorrow at 5. Does that work for you? Can you do 5? And he might just shut the fuck up and be like, yeah, that works. Versus again, it's the same thing that you're doing here of like leaving it, it's an open-ended question. Like what time works for you? No. I've got this time. Let me know if does that work for you, man?
What's your flexibility on yours, and
yeah, so at first I was
what's your flexibility on yours, and what's your flexibility on yours, and
Yeah, so at first I was a stickler when I first started working with contractors and running ads. I was like, only 9 to 5, and only in my time zone, right? But obviously, actually, most of my conversations with the contractor happen on the weekends or in the evenings, sometimes even in like early morning, right? So I can do, I can make this evening work even. I can make, tomorrow afternoon work. I can do Saturday if you want, but
I will have plenty.
Yeah, I don't think you should have done that. Why shouldn't you have done that?
Well, I mean, first of all, what he ends up saying is I could do Friday, like I could do tomorrow, which actually it was good that it didn't work out that way because my wife and I had a wedding that she forgot to put on our calendar. And so literally we found out the night before that we had to spend the next day doing a wedding. So I was freaking pissed. Anyways, so yeah, he literally said that he would have been able to make Friday work, and I didn't do that. And assuming that I didn't have anything going, I could have collected cash at this point. Instead of this sales call is supposed to happen tomorrow. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I don't know, the extra time, the added time, just gives him more time to talk to other people, to sow doubt and fear and things like that.
Yeah, so all those are reasons. The other thing is just, dude, the energy and how you position yourself. So when you say like, oh, I could do this, I could also do that, and I could do this, now it's like, well, so here's what happens when you do that, man. You open yourself up to get stepped on.
Mhm.
Because now it's like, okay, this guy's got empty time on his calendar. He's got shit. I can take this time. I can take that time. I can move it around. Don't do that because that's the bigger part of this. Okay. So that's what I was like, yes, you want to get it sooner, right? That's all common sense, right? You want to get it sooner. You don't want to talk to other people. Like, yes, you're right, Aiden. But the other thing is like, this is just some psychological warfare of how to position yourself. Is like, okay, cool, man. Well, if that all sounds good to you, man, it looks like the next time that the next step is for us to chop it up. The next step is for me to just visually show how all this stuff works, man. This way, you're crystal clear on how it all works, and if you have questions, I can answer them for you there. But if you're good with that, man, in terms of my next availability, it looks like tomorrow I can do. I've got a 5 p.m. Does that work for you? What happens, dude? It's just a different energy. Now it's like, okay, if this guy really likes you, if this guy respects you, if this guy really wants to know what the fuck's going on, he's gonna make that 5 p.m. work. And you've kind of subconsciously demonstrated like, hey man, I'm a busy dude. If you want my time, here's what you have to do.
100%.
And this is also like, why does this matter? It matters in this context. And then also like when you get into the hell yeah, hell no thing and you get to the urgency, that's enforced because you're setting from the frame, I am a busy dude. I got shit to do. I got to get you squeezed in. So when you get to the hell yeah, hell no thing, how much more powerful is that versus, hey, I can do this Thursday, I can do this Friday, I can do Saturday, and then you get to hell yeah, hell no. Wait, why do you need a hell yeah, hell no? You can fucking talk to me anytime you want.
100%. There's a huge uh, character inconsistency,
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So that makes it congruent with that,
I
small
like
thing
it.
that goes a long way. Okay.
It's on here shortly. So Monday I gotta go. So last year I slipped and fell on ice and tore my whole shoulder and biceps kind of off the bone.
Oh my God.
Well, bicep still isn't working right. I gotta pick up something that wants to like cramp up. So I have surgery on Monday. So I'll be off work for the next 2 weeks. So like if we could talk on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd have all day to talk to you.
Okay.
If you would like that.
So this is actually really important. Okay, so what do you think is going through my mind when he talks about all the surgery and all this stuff?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
So he just told you like I had surgery and this and that and all this stuff. What do you think is going through my head? What's going through what do you think is like what do you think is going through my head? What is my concern right now?
Uh, well, I feel like I know what goes through my head, but I know that what goes through your head is different than mine.
What's going through your head?
Well, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like more time. I actually was thinking, I was like, dude, you could be fucked up on, Molly for all I know, and you're not even gonna understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, time. Exactly. Because my thing is your big thing. Everybody's big thing is this, okay? So right now, Aiden, you're in a stage before the most important stage, which is you're at the stage where you just have to learn to talk, like you're doing such a better job here. Like hand to God, you're doing so much better of being clear, concise, like you're doing so much better. And so now let's see how well you do on the sales call. Let's see if you do that on the sales call. You've applied the teachings, everything like that. But that's level one of just being able to communicate efficiently and persuasive. But then the big bad devil, dude, the hardest fucking thing to overcome in my experience is once you've learned the basics of how to talk, communicate, be persuasive, dude, is let me do it later. Let me get back to you. Send me an email. This sounds good, but like da 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 bullshit, bullshit. There's what the fuck do you say to that? The only thing I've come across that works with that is doing all these things of like, okay, well, can you give me a hell yeah, hell no? Can we get started on this day? Are you sure? You're not gonna bullshit me, right? Like this is the only way I've learned. There's nothing else. Like I have, there's no after doing hundreds of, there's nothing I have that has ever worked for me other than checkmating people into like, hey man, I need you to make a decision here. You haven't gone to the stage yet because you're still focused here of like just how do I have an efficient conversation where people understand what the fuck I'm saying and how do I be persuasive? So I'm trying to figure out this for you, but this is the challenging part actually. So the reason I bring that up is when he says, "Oh, my leg is fucked up and this and that," my mind, spidey senses is fuck objection. I do my job, I do everything great, and then I get to the end, he's like, he says, "Yeah, I can answer." Blah, blah. I get to a price like, "Man, this all sounds good, but like my arm is still fucked up, dude. Let me like at least heal, or let me blah, blah, and then got back to you." That's And so now, if I'm you, I don't know that you handle, I don't know that you address this. Maybe it just went over your head in terms of like not even worrying about this. But I'm addressing it's like, oh shit, dude, I'm sorry to hear about. Well, like, can you work? Our leads come in pretty fast, and I'm gonna stay on that. And I'm gonna talk to him, and I'm gonna say things. I know what response I want. I'm not just having an open. I want him to tell me. Here's what I want him to tell me. What do you think I want him to tell me?
Yes, I can do it tomorrow at this time.
No. I want him to tell me like, no, dude, you give me a leads, like I'm good, like I'm good. I got surgery and this and that, but like I feel better. I'm good. I can take the jobs on. I want him to say that to me. So this time right here, this is like killer objection, dude. Like this will fuck you so bad. And so right now, my mind spidey senses is like, oh shit, dude, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Look, man, before we continue, man, like, um, I don't know if it sound weird, but like I know we're having this conversation, but like, can you actually like handle like the job? Can you handle the leads? Like I said, our system, once we get this bad boy launched, the leads coming pretty fast. Um, if we gave you some leads on Monday, is that something you could handle? And I'm gonna stay on it until he sells me. I'm shifting the table to get him to kiss my ass, and I'm not gonna move forward until he does. Small little thing, super fucking crucial.
You get tired of me? Like, man, I gotta go, man. I'm tired of talking to you.
No, dude, not at all.
So if we could do like Tuesday, that would be perfect.
Yeah, man, I can totally do that. And I will add this as well. It makes no difference to me, but if you are open to doing it sooner, I can do sooner. I even have time later today.
Is this your direct number?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, goes back to like just the inconsistent of the character, right? So this goes back to the same thing. You don't want to do that. The only time you want to do that is get people on a discovery call sooner. Right? You only want to be flexible to get people on discovery call sooner, but once you have them on the discovery call, you need to push for that sales call as soon as possible.
Okay. Let me see how tomorrow goes. I might be able to squeeze you in tomorrow too.
So there you go. What has just happened there? He just shifted the dynamic of let me see if I can squeeze you in. So again, it's a power struggle right there.
So you text him like, hey, can you meet today at whatever time? And you can say yes or no, and if not, we can do it another day.
Yeah, for sure, man. And what let's plan on like a date and time on Tuesday. And I'll make sure that it's inviting, your email as well, if it's on your calendar.
Maybe like 10 o'clock on Tuesday. That work for you?
Yeah, of course. Let's see. And you're on like Central time, right?
Central, yeah. I was getting further west.
Small little thing. And again, I know I'm harping on this. Might seem like why is Kushi keep saying it, but he said 10 a.m. or whatever. You're like, yeah, of course. Let me check. Again, you don't say things like, yeah, of course. You say, let me see. Right?
About 5 hours west, I'd be on mountain. Same state, 2 different time zones.
That's wild. I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy.
You should move up first.
Where
I went out to the hills. I'm like, what the heck is the time difference for?
Yeah, how do you like that, South Dakota?
I like it a lot. It's a lot similar to Iowa. The nice thing is you can go 5 hours west and be in the mountains. They call them hills, but those are not mountains. Or those are not hills, those are mountains.
Oh, cool.
Hills is what we have in Iowa.
I know what you mean. I'm in Utah. I'm in the Rockies. So.
Oh, yeah. I actually used to live in Utah when I was way younger.
Oh, I love it.
I lived in Salt Lake City. I was in HME. I'm 46. So when I was like 5, 6, 7, born in Iowa, my parents moved to Salt Lake City, West Jordan.
Oh yeah.
And we lived there for, I want to say 4 or 5 years and moved back to Iowa. I wish I would have stayed out there because I loved it. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, dude, there's nothing like the mountains out here, but
I, I don't know. A small little thing that I thought of. I don't know if this is even beneficial, but this is just what with Jeremy is Jeremy says he finds like one thing for people to really bond over and he spends like 10, 15, 20 minutes bonding over that thing and then he'll talk to them. And so I know, knowing Jeremy, I know exactly what he would have done. He would have fucking milked the fuck out of this and built like a connection with them. And then they're like fucking buddies. And then the rest of the conversation smooth sailing. Like the guy trusts Jeremy. That's his technique. I don't know how well that'll work for us. I think we're a little bit different than Jeremy. Most of us in here, but just throwing that out there. Righteous is cracking up.
I'm glad to hear you guys have some mountains out there too, so that's cool.
It's cool that he does that. Like it's so easy. Like me and you, we're all talking about like psychological warfare and all this crazy shit. Jeremy's just like, yo, how do I be BFFs? Let me find that one thing, and then that's it.
Right.
There's like no selling.
Okay, man. Well, actually, here, give me just a second. I'm gonna finish putting this calendar event together. I just want to make sure that you get it on your email. The email that I have for you is tmrenovationsSD@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Or email address. Also, do you have like I know you just moved and you're just kind of doing this. Do you have like a website or social media or anything I can check out? In the meantime, I mean, I know you just moved and you just kind of started this particular spot.
I have my personal one. Don't have a business one yet. But you know what? I'll make a point tonight to get on there and put it on there, and I'll put some more projects on there.
Yeah, man, not a big deal. There's no rush. I just like to.
So the fact that he said that, I don't know, man. Maybe you can throw that in there as an upsell.
The website.
You can throw it in maybe for the urgency. So sleep on this one. I don't have the right answer for you, but it's like, cool, man. Also, if you get started today, we're actually gonna throw in a website for you for free because, and you have to have a reason. I've got a web developer guy that has been working with me for the last whatever, and we're literally replacing him this month. But I know I can get at least one more job out of him, so I'm happy to throw that in for you. So you see how there's logic behind that. So
100%.
small little thing, throw that in there for urgency, as a bonus. And also also for that to work, you have to spend some time throughout your sales somewhere to show them the importance of a website. So he has to view like, oh, a website's super important for the strategy of work or overall in my business. And if I don't have one, I'm losing money. And so then you tie it all the way at the very end of the sales call. Small little tip, but I think that'll help you a lot.
And it'll be TNM Renovations SD on there. So
Okay. Yeah, man, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to take a look at your work. I'd love to see the kind of stuff that you've got. Also, I'll send you something as well. So I actually have a video that kind of that goes through this system that I'm telling you about, or that we're going to go through. And basically, it's just meant to, go into the hood and get you. It's just meant to the system that I'm telling you about that kind of that I'll send you something as well. So see the kind of stuff that you've got. Also, I'll send you something.
Okay, so again, this is a matter of like me trying to critique and fix this now is not as valuable as me just telling you just do it the way you should be doing it, which is again, you ask this question of, hey, have you watched the video at the very beginning? Right right when you transition, like we spoke about transition. Hey, I'm gonna transition the conversation really quick before I ask you, did you get a chance to watch the video? It says, yeah. And then, right. So that's, if you just do that, you don't need to do anything that I'm sharing here. Now, what you're saying here is, and I guess this would apply anyways, actually, like you do want to come back to this at the very end, is I'm going to send you something as well. You're kind of leading with
something as well. So I actually have a video that kind of,
I'm going to send you something as well. It has something, da, da, da. Here's what I would recommend. Instead of saying like, I think it's more about like the impact of the video. You have to emphasize that. And I don't think you're doing that here. I'm guessing it's like, cool, man. Also, there's one last thing I need from you. I need you to do so. I need this from you. So cool, man. Well, there's just only one thing I need from you, man, before I call is I'm going to send you a video. It's on da da da. And what it does is it da da da. Not super, super, super important that you understand because this is pretty much this is the exact strategy that we're going to run for you. And I just want to make sure you're crystal clear on it before our conversation. That's going to make our conversation way smoother, way more efficient. You're going to be able to ask really good questions. But if you don't watch it going in, then you're going to be really lost in terms of our conversation. So I'm going to go and send this over your way. I want to make sure you understand. So I'm going to send it over your way, and then I'm going to text you because I want to get your thoughts. I want to make sure that one, it aligns with your values and what you're trying to do and what your goals are. And then two, that it makes sense to you, that you understand. And if so, cool, man. The conversation on Tuesday will be smooth sailing. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool, man. So I'm going to go and get that over to you. Like I said, literally immediately after we hang up, I'm going to get that texted over to you. And you have like 10 minutes to give it a watch, like now, or are you busy, or can you? It's really quick. I'm gonna try to get him to watch as soon as possible. Like I said, it's super important. It's really quick. I promise it's painless. stuff like that. Because again, what am I doing there? It's not a script. I'm not running a script. I'm pulling words out of my ass. But the point is the energy of like, this video is fucking important. I need you to watch it, and I'm gonna check with you. I need your thoughts. It's super important. It can really help you out, but super important you understand it. And I need to know that you understand. I need to have a conversation to make sure that we're good here. All these kinds of things need to be like that energy needs to be here.
Kind of that goes through this system that I'm telling you about, or that we're going to go through. And basically, it's just meant to, go under the hood and get you excited about it and get you learning about it. And it's meant to help that next call go faster, basically. But
Gotcha.
Yeah. So again, I wouldn't necessarily say those words because you're not selling him on, hey, bro, like you need to understand this and it's in your benefit. It's like, oh, it's just going to make our call go faster. It's like, yeah, yeah. You position a way where he's like, yeah, dude, I need to know the secrets. Like, it's almost like a webinar. Hey, top 4 secrets of da da da. He needs to want to watch that video.
I definitely choked
It's
on
okay.
that.
No, it's okay. Because obviously, like you said, you completely forgot to even ask until this part of the conversation. So
about 10, I think maybe 12 minutes. You can speed it up a little bit if you want, but even if you're just listening to it while you're on the road or at a job site, even if you just listen to it, man, like
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say listen to it. Never. No, no, no. He's got to sit down and visually watch it, dude. Never, never listen. No, no.
This is important. Just emphasize that.
This is super fucking, and it really is, dude. Like
No.
if he doesn't like, dude, what was the last guy? Is it Google Ads?
Yeah.
Remember? So he's got to understand exactly what it is, dude.
again, well, just even if you whether you go with me or not, man, like this is the same. Like this is how contractors are filling up their calendars, and scaling their businesses. So, but anyways, we've got a very special, unique system that nobody else is doing. So it's exciting stuff. And I'll send that video over to you here in a sec. So
Okay, I appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
yeah, great talking to you too, Matt. And yeah, let me know if you've got any time tomorrow.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. You too, man. Bye.
Cool, man.
I mean, I didn't ask him.
Yeah, it's okay. So how do you, I guess like verbal diarrhea, what's going through your head? What, actually, no. Better question I would ask you is, what are the top 3 to 5 things that you took away from this feedback?
The main thing is I need to come at these with like a mental shift in that, like, no, you're gonna, you work with my schedule and you're gonna make this work because this is fucking important. This is gonna change your life. And if you're taking this seriously, then you're gonna make the time for this kind of thing. And just not like I've always been, I don't know, I've always been that guy growing up, Mr. Nice Guy, and just like super flexible and things like that. But that's not gonna pay the bills.
Right. It's not who you need to be for this to work.
Yeah.
So I using the words I would use that I wanted you to get across was, I'm a nice guy, I'm a loving guy, I'm a caring guy, but I am extremely busy because I'm in high demand. So that's what I wanted you to get across through all the small things of like how you schedule things out and all those small little words. So it's not necessarily, hey, if you take this seriously, it has nothing to do with whether they take it seriously or not. This is who I am. My shit like works. I love people. I'm a nice guy, but I have a busy schedule. That's kind of like some of the psychological warfare there. 2, if I were you, the other thing I would get at is, I don't know, actually, I want to leave it up to you because I'm curious what your thoughts are. In terms of what you feel like you took away. What else did you take away?
Well, I guess one of the bigger things I think is just like you said, simplifying. I think this would have made things a lot better if I had simplified from, oh, we'll get you X, this many and this many, and so that means this much money and then this much profit. Is like 1 in 10 leads turn into a sale. Leads are this much, so you're gonna spend this much before you get a sale or something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, communicating that.
Transition leading into that, right? So remember,
Yes.
Discovery. Hey, I can help you. I'm gonna transition the conversation right now. Is that cool? Cool, man. Before I get into like how our stuff works, did you get a chance to watch that video at the top of that page? Cool, man. Well, basically in a nut, whether they say yes or no, it's a similar response. Does that make sense? Are you cool with spending, is that cool? Does that make sense? He says, yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, if that all makes sense to you, main question is like, are you open to spending $30 per day? I mean, we've got people that spend $50, some people spend 200. We can scale it as high as you want, but are you able to do at least $30 per day as a starting point? Because that's what we've seen result in success. Is that something you can do? So that important part. So what I just went over, the timestamp is 2 hours and 18 minutes if you want to listen back to this, but literally that's that formula. Like go in that order. That's the other big thing I want you to take away. That I think would have made, like, that's probably the biggest thing. I feel like just that sequence of things would have yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
didn't yeah, I mean, dude, I didn't see any like a big objections or anything like that. The only thing I saw in that whole conversation, like honestly, the only thing I saw was just it wasn't when you asked that $30, like he wasn't fully sold, bought in. But aside from that, man, I didn't really see, and of course, the injury thing, you catching on to that. Like that's pretty, that is a bigger concern to me than him not being fully sold on $30 per day.
Right. And
Um,
logically, that just makes sense. It's like, can't even take on more work
if
for
you're
another
injured,
like
yeah.
few weeks or something, maybe. Um,
And so if I were you, you need to sleep on this. I don't have the right answer for you right now. I would have to think about it, but you need to. And so one thing I do is like going to my sales calls, if I have something like this that I didn't address and I realize later, or I don't have a way to address it right in the discovery call, I think of a solution going to the sales call. So what I'm saying is for you, you have to be ready for this. You have to be ready for him to tell you like, oh, da da da. So either you have to like ask some questions on the qualifications and really figure that out, or two, you have to have some kind of a contingency plan. And so what I mean by that is like you make him an offer, say, hey, look, here's the thing, man. Da da da. And what we're doing is we're gonna throw in this website for you. If you take up the answer right now, um, and that becomes your contingency plan to get him on board. Um, if he has the injury thing. So let's say earlier on the conversation, you asked the qualifying things, right? You asked the qualifying questions and during the qualification stage, right on the sales call. And he says like, and you really have to drill him on this, Aiden. Hey man, so one thing that I didn't spend enough time on it, man, is like you said you got a surgery and this and that, da da da. Like, how are you like doing? Are you gonna be able to handle the leads? I'm gonna give you blah blah blah. You're gonna get one of two answers, okay? Answer one is you're going to be able to walk him to say to you like, no, dude, I'm good. I share that with you, but like I can take on jobs. You throw leads my way, like I'm good. And you need to, once he says that, you need to stay on that. Be like, are you sure, man? Like, how are you going to go about working? Like, I guess what are you going to do? What's your solution? And only if you're sold that like he's telling the truth and that he's going to take on jobs, you leave it, you don't fuck with it. The other option is either he's going to try to bullshit you and you're going to be able to catch him like, no, like he's going to give me some bullshit. You actually can't do jobs right now. Or he does admit to you like, yeah, man, I'm struggling. I can't really do jobs right now. One of those two is going to happen. Okay. Now, if he gives you the second option of, oh, I can't do jobs or whatever bullshit, when you get to the price drop, again, I don't have the right solution for you, but what the best thing that's come to my mind as a contingency plan is like when you get, look, here's my offer to you. Look, like before I get into this offer, um, I don't know. You can, yeah, before I get into this offer, this is a little bit of a tweak just because of your situation regarding your arm and your back and whatever. But in terms of working with us, man, it's a 3 month thing. It's 5,000, whatever, 685, or if you do prepay, it's $5,000. But because of your situation, man, I just need you to put down $500 because of your arm situation, just to get your spot locked in. And if you want to start, we'll start on Monday. Or if you come to realize like, hey, 2 weeks later, you want to do it 2 weeks later, that's fine. That's not even a fucking good thing. And I'm fucking that up. Um, here's the main thing is here's what I do know, okay? Is I do know you need to tie in the arm there somewhere, the arm, the whatever, and you need to throw in the website, I think. That's my theory. Is like, so look, I'm gonna regarding this offer, man. Look, I understand this with the arm, the back. But here's my offer to you. And I've got this guy, and I know I can get you a free website if you're able to sign up today. And again, I understand you have this whole thing with the back and this and that. That's totally fine. I just need you to put down $500 today, and we'll go at the pace that you need us to go. So we'll start generating some leads for you. And if you come to find like it's overwhelming, that's cool, man. We'll put a pause on things for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to make sure you feel good. But hopefully, So hopefully that makes sense. And again, this website is on the house to make things a little bit easier for you. Like I said, I got this guy for the rest of the month, so I know I can give it to you, basically help you out with that, throw that pro bono on there for you. So I'm not doing the best job. You got to really script this out, dude. You got to practice it. You got to practice it and say what the fuck you're gonna say. But my point is, one of those two things is gonna happen. You got to be prepared for it in terms of how you make that offer.
Would you recommend doing the arm thing towards the beginning? Like in the qual?
So all you're doing towards the beginning is during that qualification slide, you're trying to figure out if the injury is serious or not. If it's not serious and he can do jobs, okay, Aiden, you're just going to do the conversation normally as usual. If, however, he does have issues, then you need to have some kind of contingency plan. And when you make the offer, you need to tie it back to his injury. And so what you're saying is, hey, basically what you're saying is, hey, here's my offer to you, and here's something extra sweet. And the reason I'm giving this extra sweet thing is one, I can do it because I have this person that I'm hiring or whatever. And then two, also because of your arm. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that makes any sense. So phase one, qualifications, figure out if the arm is an issue or not. Try to use words to get him to tell you like, no, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. I don't need it, whatever. If he tells you it's an issue, you need to handle that on the sales offer when you make the offer. Basically, what I'm trying to help you understand is that if the arm is really an issue, right? The arm or whatever, the surgery is really an issue, it's going to manifest when you bring up the price. I guarantee it. I 100% I know for sure he's going to use as an excuse when you get to the price. So you have to have something to sweeten the deal for him.
100%.
If it actually is an issue for him. So, anyways, questions, comments, concerns.
No, dude, this is good. It's interesting learning about myself, and yeah, dude. Hindsight, unfortunately, is 2020 because I'm looking at these calls and myself, and I'm like, I've had a lot of good calls with a lot of good contractors that I felt like went really well, but like looking back, it's like I was a nice guy, but I wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just like, man, that's why they, ghosted me, or that's, all these different things. That hurts. It sucks, but it hurts in a way that like motivates me to be a freaking alpha. And it's like, no, you're scheduling this around my schedule because I'm busy and I've got the solution. Like, yeah, anyways.
No, dude, like whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're feeling, like growth is painful, right? Like you don't feel good. If you don't feel sore after the gym, I know people have used this a million times, but if you don't feel sore after the gym, what'd you really do, right? So these conversations, these reviews should feel a little bit painful. That's how you know, like, fuck. Because if I went through this whole conversation, dude, with you, and I was like, oh no, you did everything fine, that means you haven't grown.
Yeah.
Right. But every single time I say something, you're like, fuck, that hurts a little bit, or fuck, I fucked up there. That means you're gonna get stronger, you're gonna get better because you're gonna improve upon that. So it's a good thing, dude. It's a good thing. I know it hurts, but it's a good sign. I feel good about it. Because dude, seriously, I see you on this call and I feel much better. I'm like, yeah, he's making progress. I can tell you're making
I
progress.
appreciate it. No, I'm feeling the same way. It feels good. Like it's motivating me, and I'm just like, it's just pushing me to want to change even more. So it's good.
Good. Cool, man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, right? Just I hope you enjoyed that. Did you get some value from that? You feel like these are good? These reviewing these calls?
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Cause like I was just taking notes as much as I can. But like you said, couple things that like I took away was just you pretty much what you told me, danging that carrot in front of them. So just making sure you tie things back to the system. Like that's what I had. I had a huge problem with it. Cause I'm like, bro, I booked 4 sales calls and nobody showed up. I was like, dude, there's something going wrong with like my process, like something that I'm saying to them, or it could be them, but definitely that part was one of the things I wasn't doing. And just listening to Aiden's call, like I noticed, like I'm kind of doing the same thing when it comes to pitching that mechanism video. Like it's not coming up until the end instead of before I pitch it. So I need to add that into my script too. before I give them that high level overview, ask them, hey, did you get a chance to watch the mechanism video?
Good. Yeah, knowing okay, so some of what you just said, knowing you, I know for sure that you took that away where every time Aiden's asking a question of like, okay, what types of jobs you want to do? And he says a little bit of everything. And then I'm like, okay, you want to do kitchen? He's like, cool with kitchen. Like, okay, well, the reason is our system is optimized for kitchens. It's gonna make you the most amount of profit. And so that's probably the type of stuff you meant of like tying it back to your system and like how it's gonna help them. And so
Yeah.
you're probably not doing that enough. You're probably just like asking question, got an answer, move on. Ask question, move on. So what Aiden is doing is he asks question, he gets answer, he gives them validation, he moves on. Ask
Yeah.
so ask question, get answer, validate, next question. Instead, ask question, get answer, validate, but then also tie it back to your system and um, their pain point. That's the key. So again, instead of ask question, get answer, get validation, next question, no. Ask question, get answer, validate, um, tie it back to your system, tie it back to their desire. Next question.
Got you.
That's the formula. Okay.
Okay.
So I just want to break that down for you because it sounded like that was a big unlock for you. So that's strategic. If you need to think about it more logically, that's how you think about it. Right. Okay, cool. And then the other big thing is again the mechanism video, and I think again for that again that I broke that down as well. Is you go and so you do the whole thing, ask question, validate, da da da, and then you get to a place where okay, cool man, I think I can help you, and then you transition. I'm going to transition the conversation now and tell you a little bit more about how our stuff works, right? So I can help you. So this part is important, right? I'm going to help. I can help you. Um, I'm going to transition the conversation, tell you a little bit more about our system, how it works. Is that cool? Yeah, cool, man. Step three, really quick before I get into it. Did you get a chance to watch that video, blah, 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 that's on that one page? Yes or no, regardless of what they say, you have a response, which is very similar. Cool, man. Well, here's a high level overview. Again, I'm gonna send you, I'll share this video with you. You can check it out afterwards. Or cool, man. As you know, in terms of the system, here's how it basically works. High level overview, man, is like we just set up a system. Same way I got you here is the same thing we do for you. We have this ad and just a really quick way of explaining it. Don't go like super big words or anything, but make it sound nonchalant, be chill about it. Does that make sense? And then, yeah, does that make sense? So again, you explain how the system works, about $30 per day. So one in about 10 people become a close. So if you're spending about $30 per day, you should expect about 4 people that you're going to close. Does that make sense? He says, yeah, cool. So I guess like before I go any further, man, I guess my last question is usually like, are you open to spending $30 per day? Again, we've got people that spend 50, 100, $200 per day. We can scale as far as you want, but really I suggest at least starting at $30 per day. Again, I expect you to get at least like 4 closes from that. Is that something you can do? Says, yeah, cool, man. So that little 5-step formula, start implementing that after you do discovery. So that's another big takeaway for you and Aiden as well. So yeah, I just want to break those down as a formula for both of you guys so that for you guys that think logically, just a step-by-step thing. Um, what else, Righteous? Do you feel like you took away or wanted to talk about like that was important for your unlock or whatever?
That was pretty much it. Was really just tying everything back to him and knowing how to pitch that mechanism video the right way, because those are two very, very important parts in a call.
Good. Good. Yeah, I think this was good for you because I think, with you saw the sales call breakdown the other day. Now you saw a discovery call. And so now you can go and apply that, dude. And then I think then hopefully this week your discovery calls turn out different. And then maybe I can review one of your discovery. I think it'll make sense for us to review one of those then at that point. Because I think now you get it. Now it's clicking for you. So I think next one, maybe I'll try to review your discovery call, one of yours. Okay. Um, what else? Anything else that's top of mind, Aiden or Righteous?
Yeah, there's just one part like on a discovery call. Let me see if I can go back to it.
Yo, Jorge, I know you weren't here for a lot of this, bro. I feel like this call was like really good in terms of just like helping both these guys have unlocks and just like simplifying things. Um, I would watch this back, bro, like the parts that you didn't get a chance to, and I think it's gonna help you out a lot for your discovery calls. So I'd prioritize this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was listening, like the parts that I was listening in on, I was like, oh man, that's very relatable, like to some stuff that I was gonna go, and you pretty much like I'm sure if you saw my discovery call, you'd be saying the same things. So yeah, definitely, excuse me, I'm definitely gonna be watching this one back.
Around the
Sounds like it.
yeah, watch back as much as you can, but like I would say
Uh-huh.
like 2 hours 15. That's when I really like almost create step-by-step frameworks for the guys of like the main takeaways that everybody had.
Okay.
So, watch back
So,
as much as you can. Ideally, the more the better, but about 215, I kind of summarize everything, 215 and 234. I feel like that's kind of the key points from this call.
okay, we'll do.
Righteous, what were you saying, bro?
Yeah. So on the discovery call part, there's like a part where it's like you're trying to get, let me see. Like you're asking about like the average ticket. And I'm like, since I'm in like painting contractors, I was like maybe excuse me. I was like maybe I should reword it into as saying instead of like increasing your average ticket, I should say increase in revenue. Because it's like the script is like, just so I can learn a little bit more about the sales side of your business, let's assume we can fill your calendar up to maximum capacity. Once you're in the house, what does the average ticket look like for you? Then they answer. And I'll say, gotcha. I asked because home sales training is a branch of Painters Pro for those who need it. We've seen contractors triple their average ticket. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm confusing people on that part because I really don't know how to increase their average ticket. I mean, I can like help them with like revenue, but like I don't know like what type of upsells and downsells they have.
How are you
If,
even saying that though? Like, I don't even know, like, is that part of discovery? Like, why are you even saying that? Like, why are you even asking them, hey, what's the average ticket? And then we can help you increase that. Like, why are you offering to help them increase that?
yeah, this is what Cam was doing. Like I just took
Oh
everything.
no, this has nothing to do with Cam, bro. You should not be saying that. That's
Okay.
So that apply. Okay, so the reason Cam does that, bro, is because that is specific for his product. Because what he does is he runs an ad that's like 200 bucks for his duct clean people. So people click on the ad and they buy some shit for 200 bucks, but that's not profitable enough for them. They need to do upsells, downsells. So they need to step into somebody's house, get them to pay them 200, and then they sell them like one, two, three, $4,000 other shit. Then they're profitable in their ads. So that's why he specifically says that. So you should not be saying that has nothing to do with painters.
Okay.
So
I'll,
you just confusing your people, bro.
yeah, that's why I was like, shoot, this is probably like the main thing for me too was just that part.
Take
Um,
take your discovery call, bro. And I don't know if you shared it with me. I would have to now now I want to have a look at it. See what you're saying. Because yeah, just kind of following Cam without understanding the logic or reason of that specific question, that I can see how that would add confusion not only to them but to you as well. So that question has nothing to do with you.
okay. Yeah, I'll share my discovery call script with you.
Yeah, I'll have a look. What else did you have questions on?
That was the only part that was like that I thought was like a little bit confusing. Everything else runs smooth.
If I were to break everything down, then again, simply is step by step is, hey, how's it going? Break the ice. You have some time, still talk. Step three, cool, man. Well, I'm gonna make this really quick, really short. Before I get into it, it's just a real quick introduction on myself. uh My first question is this, and then step four is all the discovery questions. And again, righteous, the question that you should be asking about are specific to you, right? Like Aiden, for example, remember he was asking like, okay, how far out do you want to go, and this and that. They're very specific to him. And so yeah, you don't you ask questions that specifically are important to you for you to decide whether you can help somebody. um that's it, right? Like, I don't know what questions are important for you. So like, hey, are you open to, like, I don't, for painters, it's not like that. I don't know that you have to even ask a lot of important, yeah, like questions, to be honest. I guess it would be like, hey man, like for you, I feel like for you, righteous, it's like, cool man, well, try to get them to say like, I guess like, what's the core issue? Like what made you call, or what made you book a call? Like what's the thing that you're having issues with? They answer, hopefully they say something about leads. From there, it's like, okay, cool. Well, what are you doing for leads right now? They respond. It's like, what else are you doing? What else are you doing? Cool. Like, I guess like, how's that working for you? Cool. And then like, I guess like, what's the issue? So you gotta get them to tell you the issue is this. Cool, man. So aside from that, like what else is the issue? Actually, no, you don't need to say that. So it's like, okay, cool, man. So basically what I'm understanding is your issues leads, here's what you're currently doing, and here's what the issue is. So based off that, man, I know that we can help you. Our system is optimized to generate leads and sales for you. So I just got a few more questions for you. What is the average ticket price? I guess you could ask that. What is your close rate? I guess I don't know. Like this part, I don't know exactly I don't know specifically what you need to be asking, honestly. I don't know. But the questions that you ask are specifically designed for you to know whether you can help them or not. You don't just ask random questions. The main question, like literally the main questions are literally what I just asked, which is like, what is the main reason that you called? And you got to get them to say to you, oh, I need leads. From there, you need to get them to admit what they're doing for leads and why their shit's fucked up. That's the core of it. After you've gotten them to admit that, then you tell them like, okay, cool, man. Well, our system can help you. It's optimized for that specific case. And then before I get into any more detail, I guess just a few more questions. And then these are specific to them, that specific to you. So for me, a specific question I would ask is, for me, are you willing to pivot from a videography offer to a digital marketing offer? That's specific to me. I need to know that because if they're not, well, then they're never going to buy my shit. They're never going to buy in. Does that make
Yeah.
So you shouldn't just be asking like random questions like, okay, well, what's your average ticket price? If it matters, then ask it. But I don't know what the specific questions are for painters that you need to know. Like, hey, so cool, man. So are you comfortable in front of the camera to create really quick ads? That probably doesn't, I'm just making some shit up right now, but like you would only ask questions that specifically pertain to you. If they don't pertain to you, then you don't need to ask. Like the cam question, you have no business asking that question. That has nothing to do with whether you can actually help them or not.
Okay.
After you've gone through that, then the next step is the transition. I've already gone over that. Cool, man. So based off of everything you shared, man, I feel relatively, I get a question that's important for everybody is like, okay, man, so what revenue are you trying to get to? So yeah, this is an important question that applies to everybody. Cool, man. So I get it. You want to get more leads. Our system's optimized for that. So I guess like really quick, like what revenue number are you trying to get to? Like what would you happy with? They answer you, cool, man. So just so I know how far you are from that or what the starting point is, where you at right now. Got it. So you're trying to get a 20K, you're at 10K. Cool, man. Well, I feel pretty confident based off of that, that we're able to help you. And then if you have more qualifying questions, you ask them. I don't see any for you. Like I said, I could be wrong here. Maybe I'm gonna know some. I don't see any for painters specifically. And you get into the transition of like, cool, man. Well, based off of that, man, like you're trying to get 20K, you're currently at 10K. I feel pretty confident that we can help you get there. It's not going to happen in 30 days, but definitely within 90 days, you'll be on a run rate of 20,000 per month. That being said, I'm going to transition the conversation right now. I'll tell you a little bit about how our system works. Is that cool? He says, yeah. Cool, man. Well, before I get into it, just really quick, there's a video on the thank you page. Did you get a chance to watch that? It explains how our system works in a high level. And then I've already explained this part like 3 times, so I'm not going to go over it.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, they're cool. And then from that, so again, they say, yeah, makes sense. You say $30 per day. Are you cool with that? They say, yeah, cool, man. Well, based off of that, man, I feel like I said, relatively confident that we can help you. Next step is for me to just visually show you how all this stuff works. And then from there, make sure you understand, feel really good about it. If you do, cool, man, we'll rock and roll. We'll get these bad boys launched for you, get some leads coming in, rolling in by Monday. Next step in the process, like I said, is just sharing that with you. I have some availability. Looks like tomorrow at looks like 5 p.m. Does that work for you? Says, yeah. And then last thing is, cool, man. One last thing before I let you go. And then this is whether they watched the video or not. Right? If they didn't watch the video, it's like, cool, man. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send this video to you. The one that you haven't given a watch. It's super important. Just like I said, I explained this with Aiden a few times. Super important you understand it. Gonna give you a high level overview of how our strategy works. Super important that you feel good about it, you understand, so that our conversation runs a lot smoother on Monday. You're able to ask me questions much more efficiently. I've got this guy. His name's John. He reminds me so much of. So is it cool if I send that over your way? And then I do want to text you, make sure you clearly understand. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool. Also, one last thing. I've got this guy. His name's John. Reminds me so much of you. Just like you, actually. Da da da. And just like you. Da da da. And just like you. Da da da. I think it'd be really beneficial for you to kind of hear his story. Unfortunately, he sent one over our way 2 months ago. Can I send that over your way? I think it'd really help you for our conversation moving forward on Tuesday for you to watch that. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool. All right, man. Well, that's pretty much it, man. Can you check your email? I just sent it over to you, your the invite. Yeah, cool. All right, man. I'll see you on Tuesday. Also, like I said, as soon as I hang up, I'm gonna send these 2 videos over your way, and then I'll text you here in like 30 minutes or so. Make sure you feel good about that video. Make sure you understand everything. Is that cool? He says, yeah, cool. So I pretty much just ran the entire discovery call. That's what you need to do. Aiden, Jorge, both of you. That's what you need to do.
That'll work. But yep, that was the only thing. So I'm glad I brought that up so that you know you know what I was doing there. So I'm
Okay,
clear on that.
good. Um, any other questions, Regis?
Nope, nope, that's it.
Oh, cool. Um, Jorge, did you have something specific?
Actually, let me check the my notes, what I wrote down. Give me one moment. Because there was something specific that kind of threw me off.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so when you get these guys who are like, like these people like super high confidence and they're like, yeah, I do this, I like their shit does think pretty much. And then they're kind of like, yeah, we're doing good, but just, now we're just looking to grow this thing. Um, when I'm going in and trying to figure out the pain, I feel like that's like the biggest.
So here's my tip, the tip I gave to all the guys, and again, this was me
Uh-huh.
reviewing cadence call at the very beginning, is you start the call off with like, hey, cool, man, well, what made you book a call? And then they're gonna say something generic.
Mhm.
Or so usually you say that, they respond, and then from there you can rebuttal and be like, cool, man. Well, what I was really asking is like what's I guess like not working as well as you'd like it to be working. Like what's the thing that you feel like could be working better, but it's not working quite as well.
Mhm.
Either have that as a second question or you even open up with it. So the way you would open up with it, which maybe you don't want to do, is like, hey, cool, man. Well, hey, man, let's delve in, man. I guess like what made you call, as in like, what's maybe not working as well as you'd like it to work that you think should be working. So when you phrase it that way, what happens is they have to lead with, this is not working. That's broken.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So are you phrasing that? Are you saying that question?
Yeah, that was I remember that, and I did kind of rephrase it a couple times so I could get that out of him because I remember the first time he was kind of like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing? Not so bad." That type of thing, and I did get it out of him. It was like a lead quality thing, like a no show rate thing. But when when I was probing a little bit deeper, it was really just like he kind of just like went over like, yeah, show rates could be better, everything else could be better. Um, but we're doing these other things that weren't working as well, but we're doing good right now. So he just kept on going back like, yeah, we're doing good, we're doing good.
Hmm.
But I did go a little bit deeper with those questions.
So is he running ads already?
Yeah, so he's running ads, but the guys that he's running the ads with, they slowed down, which is like the main reason why he was out, because it was the show rate. He's like, yeah, the show rates are just terrible, and these guys are just doing a bunch of free offers that are just making the show rates
Okay.
be so.
So yeah, so I know. So I'm stepping in his shoes. I get it. So he's basically in a place. He's got an agency. They're running ads. The results are starting.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's really what's happening, bro. Is you got a dude who's with a girl. They were hot and heavy, and then now they're like bickering sometimes, but that's like maybe 20% of the relationship. And now he knows that she's not wifey, and he's looking for wifey. That's literally what's. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. And so what that means is your job is to go in there and to explain to him, okay, this bickering, the shit that you have going on with her, bro, she ain't your wife and some shit's about to really fuck up. If you continue down this path, bro, you're gonna end up like in a marriage and then in a divorce, and she's gonna take like half your fucking money and your whole life is gonna crash and burn. So he needs to understand the gravity of how fucked up, if he goes down this path, how fucked up things can be. That's the only way you're gonna win. Because you have to interject yourself as like Mr. Stereo Girl. You have to be able to actually no, he's the girl and then the agency is the guy.
Mhm.
Okay. So you have to go in there and be like, shit's gonna really fuck up, blah blah blah. Let me go ahead and take care of you. Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't know if this analogy is helping at all. Is it helping or is
No, yeah, no, that makes sense. It made I assumed it was the opposite. It was like he's the girl, and then like the guy's messing up, so you come in here like, hey, listen, like I could save you.
Exactly. I can save you, but you have to help her realize, you have to put the fear of God into her. Like, hey, look, if you get in this relationship, what's going to happen down the road? He's going to be broke, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do when you try to go to a nice vacation, blah, 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 and whatever. Like, you don't want that life. Okay. So you need to put the fear of God into her. Right now, she's just like,
Yeah.
girl, she's 20 years old. He's 22. They're young. They don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So you need to paint a picture of like, yo, here's what life looks like at 40. Okay. So, and once she has a fear of God, she's like, fuck, I don't want that life. Now she don't want to be with it. So that's a metaphor for what you need to be doing. Okay. So, that being said, how would you have done this? So, it's you understanding what the actual issue is. So, what is the actual issue? The actual issue is ads die out, ads fatigue. And then on top of that, okay, here's the actual issue. There's a certain, if in a radius, okay, there's a certain amount of people that want a free offer for jujitsu. Eventually, once you have spent enough money on that, nobody fucking wants that shit anymore. Does that make sense? So if I run ads for like Invisalign, then I'm going to run the ads. It's going to find all the people that want Invisalign, but then eventually the people that want Invisalign have already signed up for my shit. So all I can do is I can do other offers. I can say 50% off. I can say 70% off. I can say if you get Invisalign, I'll get you one for your mother too. But eventually that whole population is going to be gone. So what am my only solution is I got to go to, okay, who wants teeth whitening now? And that's going to find a bunch of different people. And then maybe 6 months, a year down the road, I can run things for Invisalign again. And there's going to be people in that location because people have just moved in. People are just realizing they need Invisalign. They want it, they thought about it before. Now they're more serious. Does that make sense? Like from an ad level? So they're running a free pass, and everybody that wanted a free pass, they clicked on the ad, they became a lead, they didn't need a whole lot of nurturing. They showed up and they fucking bought. Now the people that they're going after, they have a lot less intent. They've probably seen the ad already like 3, 4 times, and they're like, oh, I remember seeing that ad. I didn't click on it before. Yeah, let's go see what it's about. And then when the time comes, like, fuck, I'm not gonna show up because they're not that serious about it. They don't care about it enough. And so what's happening is again, they've saturated the market with that offer, and there's only a certain percentage of people that are interested, and the show rate is lower because those people don't have enough intent. So all they can do is they can recycle from like a free day pass to 7 week pass to whatever, but it's not going to fix the core issue because it's only after that. So I hope that this is making sense to you. If you and you need to break this down for him. So now what you need to explain to him, so that's what the issue is. So, and you can break it down literally. If you watch this back, literally what I'm having conversation, like literally the way I'm breaking it down with my arms and everything, like that kind of energy. Like you need to logically explain it when he's like, oh, that actually does make sense. So then what you can do is like, so hopefully that makes sense. So the thing with you is if we let's play this out like another 6 months, what's going to happen is your cost per click is going to rise, your cost per lead is going to rise, your show up rate is going to decrease, and eventually you're going to be at break and if not losing money. Does that make sense? And here's the thing where, hey, bro, with you, bro, here what you're asking me, I don't know whether breaking it up on the discovery call is important or the sales call, but what I do know is you got to break this down on the sales call for him. He needs to visually see this. Okay, so you need to have a part of the conversation where you break this all down. And then you need to go into now, here's why we run the 6 week challenge. The reason we want the 6 week challenge is there's only so many people that want jujitsu, but how many people want to lose weight? Everybody and their fucking mom wants to lose weight. So that's why our cost per click, cost per lead is extremely high and it doesn't burn out. We keep going, keep going. Now, also the other difference is we're not stupid. We understand there's only so many people. Yes, granted, there's a lot more people that want to lose weight than want to do jujitsu, but we still know there's only so many people that are going to click on the ad, have high intent that are going to show up. And so for us, what we do is we capitalize on that. What you guys do is you guys run a 7 day pass. You guys have those low hanging fruit. You guys get those people in. You're charging $200 a month. No, no, no. Here's what we do. We take these people, the ones that want to lose weight, and every single one of them, we charge them out the ass. We charge them $800 from the get go, and then we're upselling them because we understand that sooner or later your ads are going to diminish. You're going to have diminishing returns. So what we want to do is we want to collect as much cash up front and make these customers fall in love with you so much, and then just keep them around for years after years after years. That's how we make the ads work. So he needs to like logically understand. So after you've done that, then you go into, so that leads me into actually showing you this diagram. So first of all, you do a temperature check. Does that make sense? Like on a high level, I'm going to break things down for you for a level in terms of numbers, but does that make sense? He says, yeah, cool, man. So I want to go and actually show you this diagram. I'm going to break this down for you. And again, the way you have that conversation, you have to, again, read the room instead of using words like, hey, so when I got started, I used these other agencies and I da da da. No, you're gonna say something different. It's like, cool, man. So I'm gonna show you this diagram. Now, as I say this to you, it's gonna sound eerily familiar. You're gonna have some deja vu, and the reason for that is you're already working with an agency who's done two of these art methods already. So really quick before I dive in, these are the reason I can share this with you is I used to run these, right? I was like those agencies. I have ran them in the past. When I was up and coming, that's all that existed. Though, but these strategies are like maybe 5 years old right now. And so when I first came in, I hired these people, and this is what we did, and these are the numbers that we got, which is pretty much probably what you have right now. Like, and so as I say these numbers, it's not because I hacked into your account and found them. It's because I know because I've done it. So that's gonna really fuck with his head. He's gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker. It's like I'm telling this girl, like, yo, I already know what the fuck he does. He does this, he does that, right? And he does this, right? Yep, yep, I know. I used to be that asshole. That's before I learned how to love, right? So, there you go. You're getting it, right? And so, and then you go into, so that's what that is. That's what that is. Now, in terms of 6 week challenge, again, before I get into this and share this with you, I know I explained the whole population, all this stuff. I didn't quite understand this before I met my mentor, but basically when I met my mentor, Alex, do you know did you ask him that? If you know Alex Ramosi? You should start doing that. Start doing that on your discovery calls, okay? Start doing it on your discovery. Ask people if they know Alex Ramosi. It'll set you up for this with the diagram. Then you can kind of do the whole thing. Like I was hesitant and da da da, but this is why this works. And here's how the numbers work out. And so what you're going to do is you're going to differentiate yourself versus that. And so ideally, man, if you do a good job, bro, based off of what you've shared with me, he's going to be like, oh, I get it. I understand why this is going to work. And he's already sold on ads. He's already fucking sold on ads. As long as you do a good job and logically help him make sense of this, he's going to fuck with you. The only problem is that he's got this other agency. I don't know what he's going to do regarding them. um, I would probably have some part in your conversation about that as well. And it'd probably be you have to, I don't know when you want to have that so I think that you have to have this part of the conversation and then you see a light bulb go off, okay? You're gonna see in his face and be like, fuck, I get it. I'm bought in, I'm sold. And then I think what's going to have to happen is like, cool, man. Look, before we continue I think at that point it's like, cool, man. So, let's move forward. Let's continue this conversation. Then maybe you go through the regular part of the conversation. I don't know where you have to interject, but you have to say something along the lines of, look, man, before we continue, um, I understand you're already working with an agency. I guess like what happens there? Again, it's the same thing when you're talking to a girl. Like somewhere in that conversation where she's hot and heavy for you a little bit, you have to have a conversation like, all right, well, what happened with him in the picture? Like, what are we gonna do about this?
Mm.
You can't say that shit to her before you can't say that shit to her if she's just like fucking talking to you for the first time, right?
Yeah.
You
Maybe
got,
like before price, like before I do the price, he's like, all right, man, so what's the price here?
I mean, you would have that conversation with the girl after you fuck her, right? Like after she has cheated on him with you and she's now emotionally tied to you, now you can say, like, okay, well, what happens with him? So similarly, you have to have him bought in. And I think that's going to happen. I don't know when. So my point is this, understand that that has to happen. You have to get their emotion. I don't know where that's going to be. And that's for you to figure out. I don't know because I haven't done this call. I don't know if it's going to be after the diagram and all that stuff, or it's going to be sometime into discovery or sometime. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be after the diagram and before you get into the whole show, the presentation, because once you get into the show and the presentation, you're not building an emotional connection. You're just like talking, you're just presenting. So I feel like it's going to be after the diagram thing. You're going to go back and forth. You're going to see in his face. He's going to be like, yeah, dude, I'm fucked. You have emotionally fucked me. I get it. This makes sense. Cool, man. Well, I guess before we get into the presentation, I want to get into the presentation. I'll show you how all this stuff works. Just out of respect for your time, my time. I guess like what happens moving forward in terms of this agency? Like, are you done with them? Are you going to continue? I guess like what happens? I just kind of want to know what's going to happen before we progress through the rest of this conversation. I don't know. My guess is that's you have to feel it out, bro. You have to feel out where you're gonna have that conversation.
So like as soon as he's bought in, from there I'll be okay, cool. Now like I can see in his face that he's bought in. Now this would be a good time to kind of throw that in there and then be like, cool, like how do we proceed?
I mean, you don't want to say how do we proceed. You be like you don't say it that way. You don't be like how do we proceed? Because if you say how do we proceed, he's gonna be like, okay, what's the fucking price? What's this? That's not the right thing to say. What you would say is like, hey man, before we move before and again, you got to read the room, right? Like, cool man, well, hey man, look, I know this isn't your first rodeo. I know you've been through a few of these calls before. I understand you're working with an agency, so you already know that I'm gonna share some stuff with you, and I'm gonna make you a pitch. I'm gonna make you an offer, and all that stuff. Before we get there, though, I guess like, just to respect your time, respect my time, what's happening in terms of the agency that you're working with right now? Obviously, I know that they're not getting the best result. That's why you're here. And again, we just broke all this stuff down. but I guess like what happens there with that agency, right? Like are you planning on finishing up your contract with them, or are we good to, you know, if everything sounds good to you, are we good to rock and roll, you and I? So that again, I don't know that I'm using the right words, but like it's
Mhm.
that's the energy. And then he's gonna sit down with you, and he's gonna tell you, he's gonna keep it real with you. And then from there, you proceed the conversation if it makes sense.
Okay. Do you think it would be worth? So I was having to make the video either way, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you. So we ended up booking the call like super far out, like a week later.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, let me see, what I got here for 2 days from now. I didn't say, I was like, the only thing I have here available is on Wednesday. He's like, oh, I can't do it, blah blah blah, whatever. His father's going through some surgery, so it's gonna have to be until next Wednesday. And I was like, okay, let me see here. Yeah, next Wednesday. Does this time work for you or this time? Okay, this time, cool. But in that meantime, right? Obviously, I have the content, the email content, but I only think it's like 4 or 5 days worth of stuff. But since I have to make that video anyways, would it be worth making that video and then sending that to him at some point between now and then for the diagram? I mean diagram.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because the way I just answered your question, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that we're gonna throw in the diagram. Because if you throw in the diagram, so here's the thing, you can throw in the diagram, bro. Okay, so you can create the diagram video and you can send it over to him. And before you send it to him, you just have to pre-phrase. You'll be like, hey man, I create a really quick video for you. I was thinking about you and I wanted to share with you um, why you're probably facing some of the struggle that you're facing in terms of your prices increase, your costs per lead and cost per lead increasing, your show up rate decreasing. And hopefully this video helps illuminate some of that for you. Um, no, it doesn't work because you're not talking about that. So I guess like, okay, where did your question come from? Like, why are you asking me this?
Because I figured maybe if I send this diagram video, I can knock out a couple of birds with one stone.
Yeah.
One, I already have to make the video anyways. Two, it serves as a little bit of nurture content because the timing's so far away. And then three, it can help tee up like this conversation for when we're on the sales call.
Yeah. So yeah, for all those reasons, go ahead and send that over. I think you just have to, yeah. What I'm thinking about is what you asked me earlier of like, hey, he sounds too confident and we have to have the emotional thing and we have to be the guy that steps in. So you have to say all the shit that I went over, you have to do that on the sales call. And for some reason, I was thinking it's like 2 days out or whatever. And if it was 2 days out, you could just done that and been okay. In this case, if you send this over, you just have to modify the sales call and you have to tweak it. So you'll still go in to explain to them, hey, here's why this is happening, here's why that's happening. And then from there, it's like, so that being said, let's go and transition back to six figures or this diagram. I know I sent you a video about this. I want to just really quickly go over it with you really quick just to make sure you clearly understand. Does that make sense? So you're reading the room. You're not telling him, hey, you're not just going over just to go over it. You already sent him a video on it. He already saw it, and you're just revisiting
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's all I'm saying. So it's not fucking awkward. So you don't retard it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, like addressing it already. Like, hey, listen, like saw this already. I explained this, but just want to make sure that you understand it.
And then what you can do is, and then he's gonna be like, yeah, that's cool. And then from there, it's like, cool, man. So pop quiz, why is this a cost per lead of $10? And then if he fucks it up, then you can be like, no, it's all good. And then you can go, cool, I'll just really quickly run through it. So what happens is it gives you an excuse to run through everything. So it's like you explain the whole, hey, radius and offers expiring and people dropping through. Does that make sense? He says, yeah, you get buy-in. Cool, man. So that being said, man, let's really quickly revisit this diagram. So you hopefully this will click for you. I know I already sent you a video earlier on watching this, but hopefully this will click for you more. Now that we've just had that conversation, it'll click for you why our stuff works and why there's some issues with this. I'm going to run through this really briefly, but I just want to make sure you understand so everything clicks for you. Pop quiz. Why is the cost per lead here only $10 for this one? I think it's because, oh, no, it's okay. Here, let me just run through everything, make sure you're good. And then you run through everything. So you just have to play it by ear, man. You have to kind of just see what happens there.
Mhm.
Main thing to understand is I think that if you're able to explain to them what we spoke about earlier of like, hey, there's only so many people that want an offer in a certain amount of radius. The low-hanging fruit are going to click on the ad, they're going to book right away. Eventually, less interested people are going to click on the ad, and that's why the show up rate is going to be less and less. That's just naturally what happens with every offer.
So I did that a form of that. I explained that like not necessarily verbatim, but I did explain. I went into like listen like when I was like, hey, you mind if I can shine a light on what I think is going on? I did that, and I was like, listen, bro, like you did the 2 weeks, and obviously the show rate was higher because people are paying for it, so obviously going to show. But then I went into like the free offers, like you said it yourself, that people are not interested for free stuff and they're less likely to come in. So that's why I explained how the show rates are affected and like the lead quality is affected through that. And so that's how I kind of teed up like, hey, but the 6 week stuff, like, and then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I got it. That makes sense. Like, I'm intrigued when I explain the 6 week stuff because he's like, I could tell that he understood why the lead quality is higher, and like he was like he got it, he got it. I think he understood it, right? But I did go into that a little bit as far as like the hey, listen, like um kind of like shitting on the free offers and like what he did in the past and like showing like, hey, listen, the 6 week stuff is like this is why it works.
I don't know that you did the best job of it based off of just how you're talking about right now.
Yeah, I don't think I did, but I mentioned a little bit.
Okay, what's important is that what's important is that you yourself need to understand the technicals. That's why I spent so much
Mhm,
time to do, because you need to break it down for him that he understands it.
mhm.
It's not that free doesn't work. His show up rate, I hope that maybe go back to this and listen to this again, is whenever you run a particular, like there's only so many people that want Invisalign, there's only so many people that want teeth whitening, there's only so many people that want jujitsu, there's only so many people that want to lift weights, there's only so many people in a particular radius that want that. And when you run ads, eventually you're going to hit all those people. So when you run ads, so let's say I'm running ads for, hey, get an AI companion to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, right? If I run that shit in fucking Columbus, Ohio right now, I'm gonna have a shit ton of people that are gonna what? They're gonna click on the ad, they're gonna book a call, they're gonna show up. My cost per acquisition will be low as fuck, right? But imagine if I run that shit 5 years from now. The amount of people that were interested in that have already been scooped up. There's very few people that are interested. And even the ones that are interested, they're only kind of sort of interested. Versus when I first launched the ads, the people that are hot and heavy, they clicked, they booked, they showed up. They're desperate for it. Versus 5 years later, not as much. That's the issue that you're running into. And that's not even sales. I'm telling you straight up what it is. There's only so many people that want jujitsu. It's not that it's a free thing, bro. The issue is that it has nothing to do with free. Free is actually really good. Free is actually a fucking fantastic thing. If I run ads to a specific location and I say free jujitsu pass, the people that want jujitsu and the fact that it's free, they're like, fuck yeah, bro. And they're gonna show up and all this shit. And then eventually what's gonna happen is the people that want jujitsu, they're gonna be gone. And so the only people that are gonna click on the ad are people that are like maybe into karate, but they see jujitsu and they're like, oh, it's close enough, we'll see. And then when the time comes, they don't show up because they're like, I don't really care. I don't know. See if maybe some karate shit will open up. That's psychological. That's actually what's happening. And so that's why his costs are rising up. That's why his show up rate is rising. And if I hope this is making sense to you, because if it doesn't fully make sense to you, you're not going to be able to fully explain it to him. And he needs to understand it on a technical level. You need to be able to break it.
So like the amount of people that were there that were interested is dried up because it's just been going for so long.
Yeah, that's literally it. There's only so many, that's literally it. There's only so many people that, okay, look, I run ads and my whole angle is I'm going to get you leads automated using paid ads. Okay. When I first launched my ads, bro, my cost per acquisition was like $40. Every $40 I spent, somebody bought my $47 course. Now it costs me $300. Why? Because every fucking videographer has seen my ugly mug, and the ones that were interested bought. The ones that buy now are not as interested. There's not as many interested people, and
Mm.
even the ones that are interested, they're not as interested. So initially when I launched my ads, when somebody saw my ad for the first time, they bought. Now somebody might see my ad 5 times before they buy because they're not
Like
fully as interested.
the level of intent is
So now the people that are
that
opt
goes down that level of intent.
exactly. So the people that are opting into his free jujitsu thing, they're interested, but their intent is so low. They're like, ah, fuck it, I'll opt into this thing. How many times have you opted into some shit and you never fucking open the email, you never check it because you're not that interested in it? Versus some shit that you see, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm so interested in that. You opt in, you go through all that shit, whatever. So the people that are the people that are opting into shit now have seen his ads in some form or another, or they've seen some shit. So they opt in, but their intent is not high. So when it's time to show up and shit, they just don't show up because they're like, fuck it. So
So
that's
is
what,
it?
so your angle is this.
Uh,
Here's what I'm trying to get across to you. Your angle is, hey, we're not selling jujitsu. Our ad level is a 6-week challenge to lose weight. So how many people in a radius want to lose weight and do in a 6-week challenge? A lot more people want to do that versus the people that want jujitsu. That's why it works.
so
That's
it's literally just about like changing the offer.
yeah,
It's like that simple.
it is that simple. There's only so many people that want jujitsu. Now you're saying at your ad level, it's a 6-week lose weight challenge. So now what that does is it casts a much wider net.
Mm.
And because the net for people that are interested in jujitsu is this. The people that are interested in weight loss is this. So you have a much bigger, wider net. And the intent is super high. People want to lose weight. It's a very painful thing for them. A lot of people want to lose weight and do it in a fun way. So that's why, and so that's the solution for getting cheaper leads and higher show up rates. Okay. Cheaper leads, higher show up rates is because you're going after a bigger market. There's more intense intent there. That's why your cost per click is good. That's why your show up rate is good. Now, why do your ads work versus his ads? It's not the ads that work, it's the overall system. Your system, this is a completely different thing, it has nothing to do with ads. Your shit works because you're charging $800 or 2000, where the fuck you're charging versus they're charging $200 a month. That's a unit economics thing. A unit economics thing is just a numbers thing. Because you're charging $2,000 and because your cost per acquisition is this, there's profit. Versus them, they're charging $200 a month and it's costing them whatever. They're not as profitable. That's a unit economics. That's a completely different thing. I hope this is making sense. You might want to listen back to this.
Mhm. Yeah, no, there's more involved than just like the actual like. It's not even just like the ad itself. It's one obviously the offer, like all that stuff, but also the actual like the mechanism behind it, right? Like, system that makes it work, like the finance acquisition cost of the numbers part, right?
So it's like the reason I'm going in depth and explaining this to you is because you need to it's about the light bulb, bro. It's about the light bulb. So unless you clearly understand what the fuck I'm talking about, you're not going to be able to give him the light bulb moment where he's like, "Oh, I understand why my show up rate is low." If you can share it with him, like, yo, bro, there's only so many that want jujitsu, and the people are low intent, and it's only gonna get worse. What am I doing for him? I'm telling him, bro, you got a cancer, and if you don't cut this shit, you're gonna fucking die. Think about what I just like. That's if you understand on a deep level and if you can explain it that way, he's gonna be like, "Fuck, I have a cancer. I'm gonna fucking die." In other words, I got a dude. We fight sometimes, but if I keep down my path, I'm gonna be 30 years old. My eggs are gonna be done, and I'm gonna lose my traction, and I'm not gonna have any more good mating choices if I continue down this path. So she'd be like, "Fuck, I need to fuck with this dude, Jorge. I can't fuck with this dude. Get rid of this dude. He's about to fuck up my entire life."
So, but this is a good method of like the people who are on the other side of the spectrum who are like too confident, right? Where you kind of like they feel like
Yep.
they got everything good, right? This is a good way to kind of instill that fear of God back into them.
Well, the overall concept is you have to give him a light bulb moment. So that's like actually give them what is valuable and what is true, which is what we're doing here. Um,
Mm.
two, you have to tell them something that is actually true and two, you have to give them a light bulb moment, and three, you have to scare the shit out of them. So whatever I just explained, you can't do that for everybody. Like if somebody
Yeah.
comes to you, this works in his specific case because he's running ads and he's doing the free trial. If somebody comes to you and they're not running ads, well, then I can't obviously say any of this stuff. It doesn't apply to them.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there are some so for example, the guy that opened up his clinic brand new and he put up a banner and like only 20 people came. I can't say this shit to him. I have to explain things in a different way, but my job is to have him have a light bulb moment and scare the shit out of him. So I have to do that in a different way. I have to say different things. I can't not say these things.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like okay, if you're gonna have intercourse with a woman, you got to get her wet. Every case is a little bit different. But the point is you got to get her wet.
Hmm.
So same thing with each of these people, they have to have a light bulb moment and you have to scare the shit out of them.
Mhm.
So that applies everywhere.
Okay, I
Again,
see.
that applies to people that again are too confident. Everybody
Yeah.
that's too confident, you have to give them a light bulb moment of like why their shit's fucked up, and in doing that, scare the fuck out of them. So they don't continue down that path. Once you have them, now they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna listen to you.
I see. And then for the people who are like too skeptical, they're not even like confident, but they're just like,
Those are the opposite. So those people are like, hey, for those people, it's just a matter of you keep hitting them. The only way I've come to find is like you keep hitting them with success stories. Because success stories.
yeah, like proof. Okay. I remember that from Cole Gordon's training.
Yeah. Keep giving them proof. Be like, okay, well, it worked for this person. Like, what's the difference between you and them? It's like we have Jordan, who's literally like a 10-mile radius up from you. Like, are you saying that Belmont is different than um, Service Road? Like, isn't the community very similar? Like, isn't the GDP and everything similar? So why would things be any different? Right? So like then they're thinking like he's right. Like they're literally like 10-mile radius of us, and the house cost is the same, the job's very similar. I should bring the same amount of traffic, same quality of traffic. Like if it worked for them, like I don't know why. I think I feel like I can sell just as good as him. Like I met the dude. So what am I doing? I'm just keep saying like, hey, it worked for him. He's very similar to you. Why the fuck wouldn't it work for you? So it's like it worked for this really successful person. It worked for this person just like you. It worked for this person who's like all fucked up. Why the fuck wouldn't it work?
Mhm.
And on top of that, like you can literally trial it. Like we're gonna just do it for you, and then you just test it out for 7 days. If you don't like it, there's literally no downside risk. So it's like that's how you help those people. The people that are too confident, we just went over that. Light bulb moment, fear of God into them of if they continue down this path, what's gonna happen? People that are not successful, look at all these results, bro. Look at all these results. And on top of that, bro, like I'm gonna give you like a trial or some shit, something like that.
Mhm.
That's how you help those people.
Okay. So for this guy, break that down. I'll rewatch this, break that stuff down to him for it to make sense to him. And I'll have more questions like as I'm formulating the video. Because even now, I don't know exactly like just like start talking about each of the offers. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking like just start talking each of the offers and like
I mean, we talked about it, right? I kind of like broke
yeah,
down whatever we spoke about in the diagram. I kind of give you some voice, just like, yeah, do that, do your best, just do your best. Hey man, so before I get started, these are the 4 different pathway. You've probably seen some of these, probably had a few conversations with agencies. Before I get into these, I just want you to know that this is what I ran, and these are numbers I can't find when I was up and coming. Da, da, da. Now, and again, you did a good job. I think you're like, hey, the cost per, I think you even sent me a video. Like the reason the cost per lead here is this. I remember watching a video. So I remember you actually doing it. I gave you some feedback on it.
yeah, yeah, okay.
So watch that video and listen back to my feedback, and I think you're in a good place.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I guess like a good amount of time to do this. I did get his guarantee that he would show up to the call. So
Yeah. Okay.
either way. And then like when do you like I think that kind of trips me up in my head is when they're like, yeah, I'm talking to a bunch of other guys right now, right? And then they're like trying to like, what makes you different? Like, hey, like you show me, like, do a little dance for me.
You don't have to, you're not obligated to do anything. All you have to do is literally what we just spoke about, which is give people a light bulb moment and scare the shit out of them. Which is just again, you just have to understand the game. You have to technically like again, I'm explaining to you literally how the ads work. I'm explaining how the shit works. You have to understand stuff well enough and then
Mhm.
articulate your words well enough that people understand what you're saying. And if you just do that, to be honest, if you just do that and you have the right energy, like they're just it's I heard this guy talking. He was talking about game, and he was like talking about he was like if you have a girl that you have an emotional connection with, then it doesn't matter if she has a conversation with Cristiano Ronaldo or this or that guy. You are the best, finest thing walking on earth. I don't know if you that's been experience, but that's been my experience.
Mhm.
As well. If I have a connection with a girl, it doesn't matter who the fuck comes. She's always going to be mine because she's emotionally connected to me. So that
Mhm.
is analogous to you having somebody have a light bulb moment and showing putting the fear of God into them. That's analogous to that. If you do that, they're yours.
Gotcha. Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
makes sense.
Competition doesn't fucking matter at that point.
Yeah.
If you can
Okay.
help them see that, like logically, like, hey man, here's an epiphany moment, here's this, they're not gonna go with somebody else.
Mhm. Understood. That makes sense.
Cool. What else you got for me, bro? Anything else?
No, that's it. There's a little bit left on the discovery call that I didn't get a chance to finish writing the notes. You still want me to write the notes and kind of send those over, like, hey, like in case I find something else? I think it was pretty much like the tail end of it. I was like in the last like 10 minutes
What are you talking about?
for my discovery call.
From the Discovery Code, the one that you shared?
Yeah, the one I had today.
Yeah. I would say just watch this call back, okay?
Okay.
Watch this call back and start implementing this on future because I feel like today was like a banger. Like it really, I think, helped simplify discovery calls for everybody and gave
Yeah.
everybody. So if you just apply this to future calls, um, yeah, and then
Yeah.
maybe I'll review one of those. Maybe we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I
Because
think.
even this call, like just based off of what you're sharing with me, based off what you're sharing, it's not going to be a good use of time for you and me because it's a complex call where
Mhm.
he's dealing with another agency and you have to explain. Like I know for sure. Again, you didn't explain things to him in a way that he needed to understand for him to have a light bulb moment and scare the shit out of him because I had to literally explain that to you. So I know you didn't do that. So I don't think I need to watch that call.
Mhm. Okay.
You and I both know what you need to do different moving forward, I think, based off of our call today.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just
What happened to that one guy? Was he a no-show?
oh,
The
the other guy? Yeah, he's no, so we hopped on. He's like, no, I'm gonna go with like a no. Because he was like in a rush again. He's like, I'm in the car, bro, but I can't really see anything right now. So I was like, he's already like on that note. But then we talked about everything. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with no, bro, just because like I said, I don't want to do that program again. But here I gotta run right now, and then he had to like shut it off real quick. She was like very short.
hold
He
on. So
explained
you guys hopped on a sales call. He did show up to the sales call?
this was the second one, the second call, right? So at the end, he was like, hey man, I had to leave
No,
like
no,
literally
no,
right.
no, no, no. There was I'm talking about there was one guy that just opened up, and then there's another guy who was trialing ads for somebody else. He's the guy that
Yeah,
was experienced or whatever. And you got through the discovery call with him.
yeah.
You got through, what did you get through with him?
I got
Oh,
through a
that
first
was a
sales call.
yeah, yeah, that was a sales call. And then the second part of the sales call, he was in the car.
Yeah, the second part, he's like, hey, I'm in the car. Um, I have to
Okay.
like dip right away. And then
So how far did you get on the sales call?
we finished it. We finished through it. Well, like I did the price drop and all that stuff.
Okay. Gotcha.
But
So
then
he
in the end, he's like, hey man, I'm super late. Like I'm like literally like 10 minutes late to a meeting. I have to dip. And then he's like, follow up with me. We'll schedule another time. So we finished the sales call the first time around.
Yeah.
And then when I followed up with him and I scheduled out with him, I was texting back and forth. Hey, listen, like, uh, I think you're still a little confused. Like, just make sure, like, we don't have to keep doing the 6 weeks, right? We have the other stuff that we could just do the free trial class and it'll work for you. Because he's like, I really don't want to do like the program. I don't have like the bandwidth for that.
Mm.
And so after telling him that, he's like, okay, cool, yeah, let's hop on another call then. And then from there, we like did the whole thing. I'm like, hey, like, so just a refresher, um, remember like this system, like it still works. Like we could still definitely get you people. Like it's like we literally just turn it on and it works, bro. Like I wasn't like trying to hard sell him. I was like, listen, like if you don't want to do the 6 week challenge, we don't have to. I have results with the free stuff too. And then in the end, he's like in the car the whole time. He's like, hey, I'm just gonna go with no for this time, just because I forget exactly what he said. He's like, I'm just gonna focus on the kids program that I have now. Something about not what he referred back to like the whole like bandwidth thing. He's like, it's like a lot for me to take on right now, and I'm just gonna do this until we get the kids program up and running, and then when that dies down, then I'll probably get back to you.
Okay. So basically, there was a call that I saw where he was sitting in his chair, and then at the very end, he was like, "I gotta go." So you get right down to the end of it. You did the six. You did the thing. Do you see the value of it? He says, "Yeah." Then the next call, you do a sales call, but he's in the car, and he's like, "I gotta go." So when you bring up the price, or whatever, he's like, "Cool, man, I gotta go." And then you're going back and forth. And he's like, "Nah, I'm good, man. I don't want to do the 6 week challenge too much." You're like, "Cool, man. What we can do is we can do the free thing, the free trial class or whatever." And so then you hop on another call. Again, he's in the car and you run through the whole thing. And then at the end, he's like, "No, I'm good." So that's what
Hmm.
happened. I think you lost him all like way before, bro. I think so.
Hmm.
And it could be a him thing. I don't know. That's kind of the energy I got from him. I'm not trying to give you I don't want to give you a free pass. I do want to like you to get better. And definitely there's room for you to get better. But and I typically don't want to side with you guys because I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, I have an excuse, I have an out. I don't want you to feel that way as I'm saying this to you. But
Hmm.
I felt like weird about him. Like I felt like he was not because there's some people that always buy, there's some people that never buy, and then we fight for the 60% in the middle, right? Part of me feels like he was always like a non-buyer. And I don't say that to you to make you feel better, but I just got a weird feeling about him. He was like just gonna talk, and waste your time and not actually like buy. And the reason I just say that is just the energy I saw from him, and then also he was already trialing another agency.
Hmm.
I know the first guy was a fucking buyer for sure, and we know that because he ended up buying from somebody.
Yeah.
This guy that you're trying, the one that's already working with somebody, he sounds like he could be a buyer because he's already working with an agency. So
Hmm.
but my only concern with this one is, uh, again, what's he like? This is very common for med spas. Is med spas will work with one agency and then leapfrog to another one, another one. Like Alman has done that so many times where he's talking to somebody they already work with a med spa and then they already work with an agency and then they work with him. I don't know how he navigates that. I don't know if you want to shoot him a message and be like, "Hey man, we're actually that might be good for you." Is asking for a few tips. Be like, "Hey man, here's the situation. Here's what's going on. I just want to ask you like, what are your tips? Or is there big red flags or big green flag, big things should look out for, or big things I need to do?" Because I know you ran into that a lot. He's going to know much better than I'm going to know regarding these situations. Um, but I believe this guy should be a buyer because he's already hired somebody. And as long as you know what to say and not to say in these situations, which Aman is going to know better than me, you should be able to sell him. So those are my thoughts, man. Maybe the last guy you just couldn't have sold him anyways.
Hmm. Yeah, that first guy definitely right, like a lot more to improve on. I still had like to keep in touch with him, right? Like you mentioned, like keep just like checking up with him. Uh, yeah, the second guy seemed chill. I feel like the second guy, I just messed it up even more. Like I feel like that was like more like on me, where I was like, I feel like I could have gotten it if I said if I organized it a little bit differently, or maybe like structured it differently. But yeah,
I don't
this
I don't know about the second guy.
I think just because he was like so chill, like it was like already with the other agency. But I mean, if you say like he wasn't, then I was like maybe same thing. I don't want to chalk it up to be like a freebie or like a pass or nothing, right? I'm like I wanna like when I get this W, I'm gonna be like, damn right, I got that, I earned it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't want it to chalk it up either, and I don't want you to have an easy out. Like, there's definitely, obviously, there's a shit ton you can improve upon,
Mhm.
but some people are just never going to buy, and part of me thinks that's the case. And also, you just, I don't know, man. Like that guy was not going to be like, I would have struggled to sell the second guy. I would have struggled. Um, I could see honestly, I would have struggled. Um, so. Um, but the third guy sounds like he's sellable. The one you're talking right now sounds like he's sellable.
Mhm.
Anyways, bro. Any questions, bro? Any questions? I'm gonna go get some food, bro.
No, it's all good. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna study this back into the other things, and then I'll
Good.
update you when I make that video, like that rough draft. I'll just send it to you, see what you think.
Yeah. And then, again, with your ads, I think you know what you need to be doing. I do want to see the numbers break down. I think we spoke about, I was like, keep me in a close loop with your ads because I don't want
Yeah.
to be, I want to make sure we stick to, as long as you're getting these $50, $60 book calls, and as long as we keep improving sales, like I know you're going to be profitable, but we cannot let it get out of control where you've blown through $200 and nothing is like, we cannot let that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I just checked. So the most recent ones from this past week, from these past 7 days, it was $100 total for the call. It was like 170 spent, but it was like $100 for that call.
Okay. Okay. It's still a little bit high, but it's
Yeah.
still a little bit
And
high.
so I just did the changes too. I just
Okay.
4
cool.
ad sets. I mean 4 ads in that ad set, the Advantage Plus.
Okay. Fingers are crossed. So okay, cool. All right then, bro. Just keep me posted on the ads, the numbers, anything like that. In case you're wondering, like, hey, are numbers good? Anything, don't be shy to reach out. So cool. All right, bro. I'll see you next week then, okay?
Thank you, bro.